Page are we on?
Page 30 of day 3 is what I have. That's what everyone else has. We're on grants, so not a lot to go over with grants. These are offset with revenue. Basically, we just budget $100,000 for if anything comes in. We haven't had anything in a few years, but if money comes in, we want you guys to be able to spend it. So that's really all that budget is doing. No levy impact to that budget. Page 31, Visitors Promotion Fund. This is where we have lodging tax coming in. We did increase that, I think, just last year. So that we budget the revenues basically up to the $2 million. And then on the next page is the expenses. We basically just budget it to all be able to go out. I think there still appears to be, plenty of room here. We increased it last year because we didn't know what the casino would bring as far as traffic. I don't see a reason to decrease it right now. I think we just kind of let that go and money just goes in and out of that fund. Similarly, next is Visitor Improvement Fund. Again, we just have lodging tax coming in here. Again, we bumped that up to the $2 million, and then we got $2 million coming out on the County Visitor Improvement Fund there. So again, no levy impact on either of those. And then Justice. Hold on, make sure I'm marking everything off as I go so I don't repeat something. Okay. Justice budget. This one. We can go through this and wait. We do this one, right? So I'm okay. I just want to make sure no one else was going to cover it. So we can go through this one, kind of see what last year's actual looked like and what's kind of been put in for a budget. This is one that I know for a long time we didn't really touch, and I remember that kind of being the advisement of, I don't remember if it was Brad or Stacy, but they didn't really like to touch this. I know we've started to over the last year or two, we have made some cuts from this because as you can see on page 36, typically the expenses come in way under what we're budgeting. And to be fair, when expenses happen here, we don't have a lot of control. These are things you guys have to pay for. So we do want to have some cushion, but we can also decide when, some cushion is maybe too much cushion. So not a lot going on in personal services, but as you go into the operating expenses, there is a lot going on here. So the first thing is psychological evaluations. You'll see that expense bumped up to $215,000. I'm not an expert on what's going on here, but just based off what I see in the news, I would expect that that's based off of one or two
There's two
specific cases.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, right now that line item has been increased to $200,000, but I also don't know if it's realistic or probable that would happen again. And so, if the board wants to entertain a cut to that line, we could think about that. Similarly, there's another line I thought that was up quite a bit. Is that what it is? I have my highlighted notes on one screen, then I'm also looking over here.
Juvenile delinquencies?
Maybe the psychological evaluations was the main one in this line. I think one of the other legal budgets has something that's outside of this justice. That's what I'm thinking of. But like I said, you'll see when we get to the bottom, in total, so 2 years ago we spent $1.6 million. This year is up quite a bit at almost 1.8, but keep in mind a majority of that increase is the psychological evaluations. So there's some inflation here, but what's really going on is there was one or two cases that really bumped this budget up. So we've bumped up that line to kind of match that, but even with that $200,000 increase in psych evaluations, you still had over $500,000 worth of unspent funds here. So this is definitely a budget that I think you could cut. I don't want you to cut, $500,000 and make this thing bare bones because that would just be kind of dangerous. But I think that we could make some cuts here and be okay. But that's your guys' kind of decision, and I don't know if Oh, I thought maybe the one was wrapped up for sure. Are those cases still going?
No, the cases are still going. The one has been deemed competent to stand trial, so the trial.
The psych eval should stop then, though, right?
Yeah,
I would think.
but there's still one that's down in Lincoln. And I'll be honest with you, that you could see that with these two kids that got,
Oh, that's true, Ron.
you know, I mean, I think you're starting to see the defenders use that as a defense,
So,
you know? But I think you could probably cut 200,000 out of that budget in
Two or
total.
one. I mean,
Huh?
I was gonna suggest one, but
That's what I was gonna suggest,
Go
Pam.
back to same as last year.
because I'm,
We could adjust that psych evaluations,
I mean, it doesn't really matter what we adjust, right? Just kind of, we talked about with other things. It doesn't
Cut
matter
that back
what
to
line we
100 maybe?
pick, but.
Cut it back 100.
We've been seeing
so
some
that's
of,
another one we need to discuss. I'm glad
Thank you,
brought
that
it
is
up.
the one. I was like, I thought there was a, nope, you're right. Chaplain is a new line for $50,000 at 2-2549.
I'm sorry. Okay, wait, we've got two conversations going.
Yes, we do.
Let's finish up this first.
Started,
Can't we
was
just,
free, and now all of a sudden it's $50,000.
so let's finish, can we finish up?
No,
the
it's,
Psych?
it's a pass-through. You bill out the money
But we haven't
for
been
the
getting
chaplain.
billed back.
We haven't been getting the money back?
We haven't been reimbursed. That's the problem.
We quit paying them though, right?
when,
We've quit paying them for the chaplain
oh,
service.
for the chaplain service, yes, I have not paid any more, and I've not been reimbursed for any of it.
Have they kept billing you for more, Marla? I'm not fully up to date on this, but Kim was filling me in a little bit. I mean, have they continued to bill you?
No,
Interesting.
and I was told that there were funds there to at least pay what we've already spent, which is 12, and they said there was 13, and I've sent notices twice. I don't know what else to do. They've not reimbursed us at all.
Laura, did you get any information from Marty?
I'm working on that after we get out of the meeting.
Yeah, I have not heard, and I've referred it to Marty. Every time I send a notice out, I send CC him in on it, so he knows I'm sending them. I've contacted Josh, and I've contacted Chief.
Denny?
Denny?
Yeah, Denny, and Melissa Lotte at the, yeah.
I'll get back.
At the Grand Island
Greater
Community
Grand Island
Yeah,
Foundation.
Community Foundation thing. She told me that she didn't care if I had an interlocal agreement, they'd have their own, and that was it.
They had their own
Seriously,
what? I don't
I'm-
understand.
I think they
They
had
have
their own little,
Their own
Okay.
pass-through.
I don't know,
Fine.
so, I mean, I just,
Huh.
yeah, that's what she told me,
I'll
Well,
get back
then-
to you Thursday morning.
because, yeah.
You what?
I'll make some phone calls today and get back with you Thursday morning.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's talk about the justice
Yeah.
budget.
Which is just part of that, yeah, because there's 50,000 budgeted for chaplain, that's new, and so that's what I was asking Kim about of how this had happened, and then she started telling kind of the fact pattern that you guys gave, so.
Well, I don't think, how much have we spent in that?
Well,
12 was spent, and that's when it sounds like,
and I have a check
Marla
in the drawer,
stopped.
and I've not sent it out.
Thank you, Marla, for being conscientious.
I'm going, no, we're not sitting, they're not getting any more money.
Right.
Well, what,
Do we still want to cut this budget by 200 and we can adjust the lines?
It sounded like people were between 1 and 200, so what are people kind of feeling, 100 or 2?
target number is 800.
811 and change is what will get you under the allowable growth. But then, like I said, then you're gonna have the authority calc, and we're probably gonna be leaving some on the table. So like, I would just encourage the board to make cuts like you normally would.
Make cuts responsibly.
Right, and then when we get to like, you know, the end of the session, like end of the day, what, Monday next week? We can talk about like where everything sits and like how we like what kind of planning needs to be done for the future. Because I don't want anyone, like, as much as I do want to preserve authority, I also don't want people to not make the cuts that we should make.
Yeah.
responsibility?
Yeah, in the name of that. So let's keep making cuts like normal, and then,
Well, what if we cut one in a 100,000?
Yeah.
Keeping in mind that if we really needed, for
More
how- you know,
cuts.
whatever reason, more, we could look at this budget again.
That's fine.
Can
And
we
Is
then-
that all right?
Can we make it 112 and just get it back to what last year's budget was?
Oh,
Yeah. I'll be good with that.
I don't care.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Last year's budget had a pretty nice cushion, 550,000 on there.
All right.
112.
And then I think Tracy is here, so we should probably go ahead and let her,
Yes.
she's got a lot more important things to.
Bunch of stuff going.
You than to sit here and listen to us. Yes,
Yeah.
I think she does. Thank you, Caleb.
Morning, Tracy, afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for everything you do,
Yeah, thank you for everything you guys do too. You guys put in a lot of long days.
and you're not.
Well, okay, so this budget is pretty status quo as far as the personnel. Those were just numbers that were preset by the board for the full-time staff and following the salary schedule for the part-time staff and following the insurance guidelines. The real changes here are on operating, and I brought some numbers down. The telephone service is lower. I think the change to Allo has reduced stuff that we used to have some cost for. Printing, we went down a little bit. We're going to have some expenses of having to reprint. There's some party changes and that kind of thing going on, probably potentially. But I think that even with those reductions, we should be fine because we've had some excess there in the past. I bumped up the mileage allowance because there's been a lot of turnover of election officials in the state. I'm now the senior member of the election law committee, and so I've been spending more time during the legislative session going down to testify for NACO, working with John Cannon and Beth. So that's why that's bumped up. The travel, I haven't changed. We haven't spent a lot from the travel because I had been appointed to the federal Election Assistance Commission Local Leadership Council, and so I've been letting the federal government pay travel instead of county. But last week, 2 weeks ago, the president fired all of the EAC commissioners. I don't know if our LLC will continue to exist, so we may be back to paying our own travel to some of these conferences and certifications. But I just left that the same, even though I just wanted to explain why we haven't seen any costs from there, but we may coming up. I don't know what's around the corner here for that. The other thing that's down, I reduced a little bit our voting supplies, just because I was going to get rid of one of our contracts, but we still have that contract, but we had funds left over in the past, so I'm hoping that I was trying to pare down a little bit to reduce some of our operating expenses. Does anybody have any questions about this budget?
It appears like some of your expenses are related to the election process in terms of every other year you have an election, and that's where some of the expenses, if you look at past years.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see an ebb and flow, but in Nebraska, election season is even numbered years, but the way it falls with the county fiscal year, a primary will be in one budget year and a general election will be in the other election year. So primaries typically have more publication costs because you've got more sample ballots for every party to print, but general elections have more actual ballots to print because the attendance is typically higher in a general election. So I think overall, I mean, there might be some fluctuation in line items from cycle to cycle, but overall, we should be able to not have big ebbs and flows in our cycle. I think that's hard on a budget and taxpayers. I think if you can equalize more.
Are you still struggling to get poll workers?
Are we what?
Struggling to get poll workers?
Every county across the entire nation is always struggling to get poll workers, and I think the more conversation that there is with distrust and misinformation about election integrity, which I think the United States and certainly Nebraska has a fantastic system, but when that narrative is negative at the top and it trickles down and people hear that and they start believing it, it makes it hard. And nationally, our poll workers are 20 years older in Hall County than the national average. So we've been working to try to lower our number of poll workers, our age of poll workers. And the way that Douglas County has addressed that and Sarpy County is by drafting poll workers, like jury duty, getting a letter that your name has come up and you're invited to serve. I've been talking to Marty Klein about doing that in Hall County for the general election. I don't think it will be popular. I don't think, we did not have anybody, we went through our reserve list for the primary. We had nobody left on election day. There's a couple of ways that counties have done that. In Nebraska, drafting. In other states, they rely on county employees to be last call to go work polling sites. So we could look at something like that, but ultimately, I think if we put it in people's mind that it would be good for them to serve, I think some people will not only serve for one election, but they'll come back multiple times. So we just need to get that mindset. I think the younger generation has not been as good at volunteering and stepping up for some of those civic engagement kind of things as past generations have been.
You know, I think what you just said is really important, meaning I don't understand if the narrative, I think that the narrative is primary in the whole discussion. You know, how you view elections, how you view the integrity, so on. But if people have a concern about that, can't we turn the narrative around and say, you know, because of the participation, because our citizenry is there to, you know, to help us with elections, we have a near flawless system. You don't hear in Nebraska we have a lot of problems, blah, blah, blah. Turn that around and, maybe even the kids that, you know, have community service, so to speak. Most of the seniors, most of the high schools, you know, I don't know if it's called community service, maybe that's a wrong, I thought that was the case.
If you got a job.
It's a good, but they pay a little something. I get that they're complex, but I think that there's plenty of negativity out there, everyone. I'm shocked, I want to tell you. Every time I walk my district, and I try to do that even when I'm not, when I haven't had an opponent, maybe the off year or something. Just to let people know that I appreciate, serving and that I want to know my district.
Right.
The people that I know that don't vote, they just don't take the time to vote.
Right.
It's incredible. They may be, I'm just shocked. So I think I think you're right. It is about the narrative, but I would hope we could turn it around and make it. And I just want to tell you, since this is a completely different subject, but since the audit committee goes over the improvement reserve, Tracy, one of the first things she said to us, because she had requested to transfer a fairly large amount of money, that she had made those concessions in her budget, and I appreciate the fact that you did that.
Well, and I know too that, it can look like maybe we were overfunded for this last cycle for the primary election, but it's really hard to gauge what that cost is going to be, what that involvement level is going to be. Initially, we had candidates where we were going to have a competitive mayor's race, and then one of those candidates withdrew. We were going to have a competitive mayor's race in the primary. That race alone could have been a $15,000 swing in our budget, but then when we don't have that competitive race, we don't have as much publication. I cut back on the number of ballots that are being printed. I cut down on the number of staffing. All of a sudden, then we're not doing early pickup. So we pull the reins back when we don't need to spend the money, and then we're trying to allocate it then for something down the line. But yeah, there's ebbs and flows, so sometimes we're going to be over. I hope never to be under where we're having to come back and say, wow, this just came and this is coming down the pike. I hope to be able to plan, be more forward-looking than to be reactionary and be out of funds. I think that's
Jane?
challenging.
I was just going to make a comment kind of along the line of Pam's as far as the younger generation, getting
Yes.
the younger generation involved. I don't know if you know any teachers I mean, public school, private school, that maybe you could,
How old do you have to be a poll worker?
16, yeah, and we did, we had a really great response for our training for deputy registrars at the beginning of the year. We usually have about 20, they're volunteers who go out and do voter registration. We had 50 actually trained in Hall County, and we've had a couple more trainings since, but we hit every high school in Hall County. This is the first year that we've been back able to do that after, we were doing it before, but then COVID hit, and we haven't been able to get back in the schools. But still, I feel like a lot of the schools really don't do a lot of civic engagement, government. There's a lot of kids that are really confused about the process, and they're even not really registered to vote. The one school, there were two schools that did a really good job. Donovan Trumbull did a really good job of getting their students ready, and Heartland Lutheran. In fact, Heartland Lutheran Grand Island Lutheran, I keep going by the old name, but their entire junior and senior class came down and were part of voter registration. So that's the kind of engagement I would really like to see. But I don't know, they've got a lot of requirements to meet in the education system, and they're not always able to do that. Nor are they able to give up students for the whole day to work as poll workers, which I really wish that more kids would do that. I think it's really eye-opening for them. I think the more early on they get involved in the process, the more likely they're to be part of it. But then they have to get signed off from their teachers, and some are committed to do that. We had one student who wanted to do it so much, it was on AP testing day, which is a big day. It's the one day you can take your AP test, but actually the AP test organizers realized how important poll work is, and they gave a secondary testing date for that student. So that's one of the things you can get out of too as a student.
Two questions. Do you anticipate a significant number of petitions again this year?
Well, yes. I just opened 2 more boxes about a half an hour before I came in here. They're waiting for me to go through and sign off. We had about 1,200 that came in for online sports gaming. We are seeing a lot of what we saw with medical marijuana, with fraudulent activity on that. And that's why, again, on this line item for mileage, there's some legislation that needs to be changed. And I've got some ideas on that, and we really need to hit on that. And I cannot compliment Marty Klein more. He is so good and so responsive. Other county attorneys from across the state are calling him about election issues because he cares about the process, and he is standing up to make the system right. Is there fraud in elections? Yes. Where is it happening? In petitions. It's not happening with voter registration and citizens, non-citizens trying to vote. It's happening with petitions, and it's happening bigger and bigger with petitions. And Marty Klein cares, and I really appreciate that. So we have about 1,200 for online gaming. We have the Fairness for Girls. We have the Initiative on Initiative petition, and then we have 2 party creation petitions that we're going to start next year. I think one has 200 pages and the other one maybe 300. They're really light. They're not nearly as many pages.
What about, curious about your thoughts on the one legislation that was introduced that didn't get to the floor regarding school bonds and bond issues, where they would have to, the vote would have to be at least 50% of the registered voters to be able to pass a bond?
Yeah, that's a nail in the coffin for any school bond to pass.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe that anybody would think that would be fair.
Yeah, I don't think that's good. And the other thing that, when we talked about the equipment reserve budget, we're trying to kind of set some money aside. We're going to have somebody new in the chair in the Secretary of State's office for January. I don't know who that's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be R, if it's going to be D, but I have suspicions of who it will be. I'm sure everyone does, but there looks to be some very significant policy changes that will happen that could be very costly. Another reason why we really need to have a very close relationship with our statewide association and with NACO this year, because some of the things I've put a pencil to some of the things that are being campaigned on right now on the campaign trail. Not that everybody goes through with their campaign promises, but it would add at least $271,000 to this budget. So I'm totally against a lot of the things that are being campaigned on for election reform. I don't think that they're needed. I think we have a good system already. And so we just need to be on top of the proposals.
Okay.
Is it legal if some of us are on the ballot to help you with elections? Like whatever, do something? No?
If you're on the ballot,
No, if we're not on the ballot.
if you're not on the ballot. Yeah, there's certain things that you can do, but
I'd be willing to help if you're short on help, you know?
I can put you on my standby list. I mean, you have helped when we've, lost a sign here or there, picking them up out of the road ditch, so.
If you need any help or whatever, I'm sure there's other colleagues that, if we're not on the ballot, we'd help you whatever it takes if you're short on help.
Yeah, I mean, when you're an elected official already, or particularly a candidate, I mean, that kind of makes things a little bit more dicey, but there are always things that need to be done. And by the way, when you talk, Pam, about people that you're surprised about who don't vote, I mean, we have business owners, we have teachers, we have principals, we have elected officials in this community, sitting elected officials in this community today who do not vote.
That's correct.
Look at the primary, what was it?
It would make a great story, just saying. In my previous role, yes,
What percent did you have in the primary?
23,
Gee,
yeah,
It's really sad.
it is, yeah.
Well, it's very disappointing in human nature, or the people. I'm disappointed in people that I know.
Okay, well, does anybody else have any questions for Tracy on?
I think.
The special election budget is just a pass-through. I've had a couple of questions from political subdivisions. Those that have had questions seem like if they're going to do something, they're going to put it probably on the general. They have until September 1st to do that. I don't anticipate that we would have a special election, but then you never know what's coming around the corner.
I will say that I appreciate Tracy's looking forward. I think that her concerns are not, I mean, you expressed some campaign, not promises, but campaign issues.
Right.
But I think they're totally unrealistic. And I think most of, I mean, look at, if that would do it to us, look at what would happen to the big three, I said. And that's where all
Yeah.
the power is. Readiness is fine, but there gets to a point where you have to say, okay, this is, we have some anticipated funds, and we just can't afford, everybody can't afford to just keep
Right.
sucking money away.
Yep.
So thank you for deleting part of your, or downsizing some of your.
Yes.
Okay, and then on the equipment reserve, you've got just a little bit of money that's in its fifth year for equipment and so
Right.
forth.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some that didn't get spent that'll be turned back to the general fund. We bought a few polling booths. We are going to go ahead and get the copier. We've got a copier that's coming, and I think it's 74 instead of 7,000.
Right. I think you could transfer the amount that you have for,
And then, the other thing that we're really working on is, again, these polling booth replacements, which we haven't found a really great one yet. We've got a few replaced, but I'm not really satisfied for them. They're going to be used here for early voting in our building, but I don't think they're good to deploy countywide. They're just a little harder to set up. And then we're going to need cameras and security. We're currently not in compliance with voter ballot counting viewing requirements that passed in the legislature this last year.
okay.
But when I wouldn't state that too loudly, quite like that.
Well, there will be.
Well,
it's not affected
everybody's
yet.
going to have to work on coming
There
in
you go.
compliance. And the Secretary of State would really like us to take that block wall and knock part of it out and have a viewing room from the county boardroom into our vault for people to view counting. I don't think that's really realistic to cut through a block wall. So we're going to do a camera system, and we're working with IT on that. We will be in compliance, we're just not yet, and some of these funds will be used toward that.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be in compliance shortly.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy, for
you're welcome.
And congratulations on all those fancy appointments. Good for you. It's work, but it's great.
It is, and I guess the other thing is that when I look at how other states operate across the country, it just makes me more proud of how Nebraska does things. We really have a fantastic system and a very flexible system, and we've got it figured out right.
Very nice.
Except for petitions. We need some petition change.
Yes, we do. I agree 100%.
We'll work on that.
Thank you.
I don't know, but I just tell them, I said, I don't think you want to talk to me, I'm an elected official. Go, oh, pardon me, have a good day. So whatever it is, let's not be complimented. I don't know.
Hello.
Afternoon, I'm sorry.
Hello.
We'll start with the assessor's budget.
Alrighty.
All right.
Okay.
You setting
Same as we were, one that runs.
They haven't got anything transferred around yet?
But that's arranged.
Well,
I thought it was all
think
arranged.
the Sheriff said this morning he'd get a couple other vehicles, so I didn't know if we were getting our big stuff or not.
Have you heard anything? No. Not anything coming your way?
Last I heard was, I don't know, was it a month ago that they were getting the decals taken off of the one vehicle? Yeah.
And I think he has some others.
Oh.
You were talking about 2 or 3 that you were.
Well, you guys had mentioned on the one that,
We fixed one of them, right?
no,
No, there was one that we agreed
we have the
to.
one that doesn't hold a charge, but we hadn't done anything with it.
We put that surplus. The
No,
one,
it
there
was-
were two.
We held off on the surplus because I was supposed to update on which year doesn't hold a charge.
We did say that we wanted to keep one of the vehicles back and send it to Sean to get fixed.
Right,
Yeah,
Yes,
and we haven't done that.
surplus. We did declare one surplus.
The one that shakes, I think, was the one we said was surplus. We didn't know which ones.
Yep. I believe it was the
Yeah.
older one is what we surplused.
Yeah.
However, we do need to get that vehicle into the shop if possible.
Yeah.
Get it looked at.
Yeah,
Somebody other than the county.
the roads,
They're
yeah.
capable. of-
Any suggestion where to take it?
Here's Quality Automotive, fine.
Gary's? Okay,
Starting point, anyway, to have a bigger look at it.
okay.
Scars. Is it, very reputable?
Is it?
Kim Scars.
Okay.
Okay. It appears on the assessors, you're asking for another 1.5 positions, 2 positions?
That was approved last year, but we've never been able to fill it. And,
It's in last year's budget.
yeah.
You're looking for an appraiser and,
Clerical part-time.
No, it's, the one that was approved last year was half in the register of deeds, half in the assessors for one full-time.
okay.
And it's never been filled.
Meaning someone couldn't, no one applied, you didn't?
We had some applications, it
but
was
not
just,
people that
yeah,
filled it.
yeah.
That's the clerical part-time.
Yes.
Do we, I mean, do you still feel you need these positions? And if so, we probably need to put something in there for.
She's got it in.
There's one full-time position that she's gonna split between 2 offices, and it's already in the budget.
Whose
Yeah.
budget?
The assessors.
And registry.
Yeah.
I have the assessor's budget ahead of me. It says 0. Clerical part-time salary. It's got to be, was it?
She
was it
couldn't
not?
hire anybody.
It's a full-time position.
It is,
I know. But I'm saying.
it's on the,
Appraisal staff is the
Yeah.
budget that it is. Half
Thank you.
of it's in there and half of
Yep.
it's in the register of deeds. I do have a question regarding the health insurance. How are you budgeting for them, health-wise? Are you doing family or?
What did I put in there?
'Cause it looks,
I normally lean towards the more aggressive side. Let me see, what did I put in there? Oh, where is that thing? Oh, single, okay, yep, there it is.
There must have been changes in staffing that had more family selections. I can see what Ron's getting at, but the health insurance is up, you know.
Oh, yeah,
fair shade.
we had, in our front staff, we had someone that didn't take that insurance that left, and we had someone that came on that took single, but she's no longer there either. So,
Because I just also noticed, Christy, that some of the salaries are like fair, I mean, from a percentage standpoint, they're more than I would expect to see an increase, so I don't, and I'm not here all the time, so I assume if we only have the one position open,
we have 2 positions open.
okay. But so I would think that, I don't know if people were brought in like mid-year due to like regular turnover at like higher pay, 'cause like I'm just looking at the clerical salary increase is 14.6%. So that's definitely more than steps in COLA. So I'm like, okay, I don't know if people came in middle of the year higher than like other people based on market pay or what. I just know when I looked at that from a percentage, and I'm not here all the time, that it's hard for me to understand like that kind of increase. If this position was in last year's budget too.
I guess I don't know, but, we're down a position clerical, so, and we have been, so.
I think she's referring to the appraisal staff.
Well, appraisal
But no,
staff
you
is
got-
up 12%, clerical salary's up 14.5%.
Well,
Yeah,
appraisal
one
staff,
to
this
5
is
and
the
one
first
to
time we've been
322.
fully staffed back there in a long time. So, that might be why. So, but I just feel, in my honest opinion, these numbers really don't matter, because when he comes in and hires his professional staff, I feel this budget is not gonna matter, because for professional employees, these salaries aren't good enough. So I don't even know why I'm down here talking about it. So,
No, wait a minute. Whatever we decide on this budget,
That person will have to adhere to,
yes.
yes.
well, good luck.
Well, it's
Well-
literally a crime, so he will need to adhere to it, or he can be charged personally, just like you could or any other department head could be charged personally for a crime,
So,
Well,
for going outside of your budget.
but that's why it's critical.
It's
That-
almost even more important that you be critical of this budget. If you have a
Yes.
new person coming in, like, you wanna make sure whatever you set here, like, that new person's gonna have to adhere to.
So we have to make sure that it's neither too high nor too low.
Right, correct. Correct.
So knowing that we have a new person coming in, like in the sheriff's budget, for instance, that was congenial and it was a very smooth transition. Is it fair that there should be some input, since we know the person coming in and we know the issues and we know the concern? Is there any reason to feel that there should be input here? To make sure
Not
that,
elected official yet.
I guess, Christy, my question, I guess, going back to what Ron and Kayla are kind of alluding to, so if you look at your overall personnel costs for your budget last year to actual, you're within 3%, 3.5% of what you budgeted, but we were short a person the entire year.
and then
So
another person part of the year.
that's what I mean.
Yes.
Like, and we're only off 3% on that budget. However, allegedly, it was budgeted to have those people in for last year. I'm just wondering what the heck is going on.
So if you would have been
Did you
fully
hire
staffed, you would have went
staff
over
hire?
budget.
You would have been over budget by
So I think
68,000.
what we're
Okay.
wondering is like, what changed in the
I
middle
would
of
have
the
to go
year?
back and look at the notes, but I don't think they approved that that position last
Yeah,
year.
yeah, it was approved.
At budget time or mid-year? 'Cause I thought it wasn't approved
I
either.
don't think it was approved last year.
Or
Or
what steps did you
maybe it
start
wasn't,
from
but I
there?
can't remember, but I don't remember, something,
I remember it being discussed, but
yeah, I
I
didn't
don't
think it was
remember it.
approved. But maybe, I could be wrong, I'd have to go back last year's minutes and look, but.
I just know it definitely, like, it would look like you were fully staffed, so if you weren't, if you were a position and a half understaffed, you would have went over budget unless a person and a half's only gonna cost you $24,000, which I don't think is true.
No.
Correct.
So something, like, in this fact pattern changed, and that's just what I'm trying to
Okay,
figure out.
I'm trying to think.
Did we hire people at higher steps?
That's what I was kind of just trying to ask. Is
I
it-
always hire at step 1.
Okay.
Um,
Do you want to go last year's numbers? We could look at that.
I say, I did step up a couple of my appraisers sooner, because they took charge, and, so that might be
One step, two steps?
just one.
See, I would think that might make a big.
Yeah,
That would only be a few
I
thousand.
mean, your overall budget,
Yeah.
you're within 4% on it, which is great, I think. It's a good number to be at, and it's pretty darn close. But
yeah,
considering that if we had those employees, even if, let's say it was a half of a full-time employee in there, I mean, a full-time employee cost, you're looking at $80,000 from salaries and benefits. 40,000, I mean, you'd be over budget on that. for last
Yeah,
year.
I don't- because I have 2 employees that are maxed out on steps. So,
I'm really wondering if there was some confusion on whether or not that position was approved, if we.
So
if it got-
last year, we had Christy and Mandy and 7, there were 7 under the assessors. Staff members.
okay,
And it didn't have any, like, open position or anything. For the assessors. I think that sounds right.
okay.
Is that Crown Vic?
Okay, maybe I'm confused then.
So I'm just doing the math a different way, and if I take like last year's budget, the 765, and I just round out and increase it by about 5% full of plus steps, because it's usually about 5%.
Good.
So that'd give me to right about 800,000, so then I would think that the extra 30 probably is that half-time position. That's being, of the full-time position, that's being split 50/50.
Yeah,
So I
Okay.
wonder if that's where the confusion is.
yeah, I
Okay.
think that's probably it.
Okay,
Okay?
Let's go
In
on.
that case, I don't have a problem with it on this part. I think Gary was gonna ask about capital outlay for vehicles.
Yeah, I
probably.
don't see anywhere in the budget, either the budget or miscellaneous improvements where to pay for vehicles and how many vehicles or whatever. so
They only have 1,000
They've
for
got vehicles.
Kroger.
Maybe I'm missing it, but.
yeah, no, I didn't put anything in
I
there.
didn't see anything. We need to talk with the sheriff and find out how many he's got, what it's gonna take to buy them from him so that we can put it in her budget.
So dumb question though, like if it's money in and money out, it won't affect the actual tax asking, correct?
Correct.
So we don't need to worry about that for this particular
Well,
fund.
and Gary, you still need to budget the revenue and the expense. Why,
Yep.
why would you not, why would it not be money out? Why, what kind of money would you be putting in
It-
for it?
Well, but
So
the
we're looking
trade-in-
at essentially buying vehicles for the assessor's office from the sheriff's department. So the money is staying within the county. There's no money going to a dealership for these things. I'm
Okay.
just,
I guess I didn't, do you guys have to like do you have to sell it? Can you just transfer it?
We have to, declare his vehicle surplus, and then you have to, it's coming out of her budget, going to, he'd had trade-in to be the guy.
Yeah, it would have
That's
a
right.
trade-in.
See, no, there's money out.
does
Because they're
money-
being costing more money, so he,
Okay, but that money, I mean, ultimately, we put that in the sheriff's budget and/or offset it here, either which way.
Yeah, basically, it's a net neutral.
So I think he
I mean,
mentioned.
yeah, if we need to budget
We can put line items in, it's just a paper
$20,000 of
trail.
income for the sheriff and then
That's not
expense for the
affecting the
assessor,
actual
we
dollars
can, there's
for
no
the county.
levy impact, but.
But we gotta find out how many vehicles you've got.
We've got other
Sounded like
budgets.
you
We don't
could do three
usually
that day, or 2 or 3.
Well, 3 would be ideal because we have 2, which I don't know how things are gonna work, but whatever. We have, 2 groups that go out, and then Mandy and I will go out sometimes to do extra work. So,
Well, we know these vehicles and we know the vehicles you've got. And sometimes you can throw good money after bad in some of them vehicles. I'm just, we need to find out from the sheriff how many he can let go of and how much he would've got for trade-ins, and then we need to work that out of the 2 budgets.
But we only need, I think you only need 2 plus the one that she has that has the battery.
The one we're gonna take to whatever shop we're gonna take, if he says it's gonna take 4,000 or 5,000 to fix it, we're better off just taking another one of the sheriff's vehicles, moving it over. I don't care, but however we do it, we need to start moving money, figuring out what it's
Well,
gonna
we
cost
need-
your budget and how much it's gonna.
Yeah, we need to get that one in the shop and figure that out.
okay.
Okay, but I think we just leave the budget the way it is at this point.
But there's nothing in either of her budget for cars.
Yeah.
Or flip it, or the other, any
Well,
other place
yeah.
to get it.
Well, no, wait a minute. Kim just said she thought there was, because you could go to the equipment acquisition budget.
But that's the run.
So we just put it in there.
So that's we've kept sheriff cars before, or we have the equipment and improvement reserve that I think we've taken vehicles out of for other departments before.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
our
Where-
building inspector.
Where is there a deal in here that Christie needs them?
I think the building inspector was on.
I don't see anywhere in here that Christie's gonna get cars out of here.
No, in that particular budget, that's not typically how they've been
Okay,
purchased
well,
out of the equipment acquisition budget.
So they get cars.
Well, as long as there's a
Same as the
means to
sheriff
do it.
cars.
Okay.
But there also is no budget in the assessor for a repair.
Right.
Well, there's
$1,000.
1,000, there's 1,000, there's 1,000.
Is there?
2-1601.
And then $150 an hour, that don't go very far. That's what they're getting, $140 an hour.
I feel like I'm not particular where we come in, we feel like, yeah, we need a budget, like, if we want to, like, pay, I'm trying to think through, like, if we're paying the sheriff's office for this. I guess I'm like, don't know why we would need to do that, like, cause at the end of the day, you're just moving money. Like,
Because
both of these funds are the general
he had it
fund.
in the new cars to trade these old ones off.
All right, it's just
So
10 minutes
the-
or less.
So the one car that we were giving to Christie was a $9,000 trade-in.
Okay.
So the sheriff will need money to reimburse that trade-in that he had for $9,000 on.
Can I ask why? Because they're both part of the general fund.
Yeah, I'm not sure what either.
So it's not like it's their money. And
But
I'm not
he
trying
had
to
it
defend
in
the
trade.
sheriff,
This is
but
the
like,
county's money
The
from
county's
county
still gonna have,
taxpayers.
it's
We
gonna be
need
the
to do
same to
what's
the county.
responsible.
It's not the sheriff's.
We'll make sure the sheriff has everything that he needs.
Now, if the sheriff had a separate fund, then I might be like, okay, I could see more of an argument, but it's not, it's just general cash fund, and I mean, we've got $350 for them budgeted for cars, I mean, they've never been able to purchase that many, not necessarily from their own doing, it's just only so many they can get in a year.
I don't think he has to bring it to transit.
So if everyone feels more comfortable, we can budget, whatever the dollar amount is, we can budget like a revenue somewhere and expense somewhere, but I don't see why that would be necessary. Cause it's all
Okay, because
general fund.
it's all in that
general,
350
it's all
fund.
general.
Cause like the sheriff doesn't even have revenue lines, like it would just be a general revenue line.
I got it.
So as long as there's an avenue.
Now,
to
if
do
there
that,
are
I
any
don't
rules
care.
for moving like the sheriff's cars, cause I get that those are outfitted and, decaled, and it sounds like you guys are taking care of all that stuff, that's probably more where my concern would be, but I'm not up to date on those rules, I just have a step-parent who, is a sheriff, so I get that there's, rules with that stuff, and I'm not up to date on all of them, but as far as from the money side, I think you're okay. It's all general fund.
It was just because they were gonna lose the trade-in on the vehicle, that was always my.
Yeah, but-
All she needs
I'm
is
good.
cars that run.
Okay, let's go on to the register deeds. That is page 51.
you go back to 50.
Oh, I'm sorry, 50, yeah, I'm sorry, page 50, reappraisal. It looks like basically everything is pretty much the same.
Okay, but actual is 34.
So here's appraisal fees. I don't understand that.
Because this person, the personnel expenses here is half of the position as well, right? And that's why this one, there's no
I
expenses.
thought it goes in register of deeds, not reappraisal. Well, half, I guess. There is a portion that isn't under reappraisal, I guess, but there's a portion of it was already under the assessor. I guess I'm kind of curious there.
I'm a little confused, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like all, maybe only do the math really quick on the register. I mean, I would, all of them, so like their appraisal, obviously there's just been no expenses there, so there's those dollars budgeted, and then I already gave you the number on what the assessor percentage increases is, and then just looking at the total for register of deeds, like those are up 11%, so like something just feels, I can't quite figure it out, but looking at the detail.
That's what I'm
The
wondering.
detail shows half a position budgeted in the appraisal budget, half in the register of deeds, and one open full-time position in the assessor.
But it's not a new position, right, in the assessor, so that's why I don't
Christie,
get
you
why
have one or
it's
two
causing
open
that
positions.
percentage increase.
Well, I have one full-time open in the assessors, and then I have the half and half open,
So two total.
Open position.
yes.
If that's the case, then the assessor's budget, the one we just got done looking at,
Needs
isn't
to have,
accurately,
Yeah,
needs to
projected.
have that,
It's short $50,000 based on
Yeah.
benefits and everything else.
yeah, because the expenses were high.
Expenses went up.
Well, no,
Well,
because
yeah.
Kind of what Kim just said, that split position is not in the assessor. It's in
That's-
appraisal and register.
Yeah.
So it's
But-
just one unfilled position in the
and that was,
Yes.
wasn't vacant all the time.
Okay.
Oh,
In
that
that
wasn't
case,
vacant
then-
all the time. Okay, all right, that
Okay,
makes
then
more
in that
sense.
case, then is this one padded 30,000 then to go up to 5% like you said, Caleb?
I still think it's weird that it's going up that much of a percent, and I don't know, if you want, I can have Kim send me the detail for both years and just take a look and try to figure out what's driving that.
Why don't you do that?
Yeah,
Okay?
Maybe 25,000 higher then on.
I can look at all three of them and find you, too.
would you?
Yeah.
I would really appreciate that because I don't understand either here. I don't understand appraisers' fees. So,
Why don't you understand that?
because the budget,
They went down?
yeah, I don't understand how it went down.
We haven't used them?
Well, your actual was 10,077,
It was 7,600?
10,077.
On
And your-
reappraisal.
and your-
On reappraisal, Christie, we got line 2-2510.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
It's showing our actual expenses for last year at $10,077. And
Well,
then your projected budget for next year
We,
being 8,000.
we
so it's
weren't
2,000 short.
gonna use standard anymore.
Okay.
We were going with Josh, and he quoted us 8,000
Okay,
if he even needed to use all the hours.
okay.
So,
That's what she was asking.
yes.
Thank
hmm
So that's okay.
So and then operating expenses, the same thing. I mean, I guess it was 1,530 and you've got it to 1,000 again. I don't understand that either.
Probably got miscoded. It shouldn't have been in that category. There was other places to take it from.
So the
Okay,
reappraisal.
but the actual was 31,520 and now it's only 30,000.
And the actual is $2,000 more than what next year's budget is projected just for the appraiser fee. So that makes sense. You got $500 over what it would be just on the difference on the appraiser fee. Be tight. We would have been $500 of actual last year, assuming the appraiser fees are accurate for the quotes that we got, which we'd like to think they would be.
I mean, if we need to, there's a little bit of excess in supply to make sure that we can shift stuff around. If you guys really wanna do an increase, we can too, but also if we're leaving in this position up top, it's obviously not filled yet, so we're just creating more cushion as time goes on.
Yep.
Pushing, I don't love if we're like covering operating expenses with salaries, but
Well, we're
I
not,
also wanna relieve the like pressure that like,
Yep.
I don't think this budget's gonna bust this year unless we hire someone yesterday.
And I'm not hiring anybody.
Yeah.
but
So it's gonna remain unfilled for at least
Half the year at least, we'll have 2 open positions.
but I didn't think we did that. I didn't think we covered operating with personnel.
No, I don't like to. It is not a violation from a state statute perspective. I'd say as a principle, we don't like to do that because salaries continue to go up. Also, if we know we're not gonna spend any of that, at least for half the year. And I get it is very close, but
I mean, if you wanted
If we
to,
want to,
I
we
could
can
just,
increase it a little bit.
well, I could just go in and adjust those lines.
in between like the supply and
Yeah,
materials.
I can adjust the lines and keep the budget the same.
I'd rather, well, if it's the same as last year, or if you just want to go through and find out.
I'm definitely gonna look at the salaries for all 3 of them and just make sure I understand like what the shifts are that's happening in those.
I would
Or
really
do you want to keep the budget?
feel
the
very
same as last
comfortable.
year?
I feel like we're talking about 2 different things, salaries and then non-salaries, so I just wanna,
Well, if you adjust the salaries and you go through and just leave the budget just like it was last year, period, done over. And then, you know, with all the transition, we don't really know what's going on.
Okay?
I don't know, what's the rest of the board feel like?
An increase in budget, so I just want
Just, what's the rest of the board feel like?
The assessor would be down, wouldn't, or are you talking just for the reappraisal?
talking about all of them.
I think we need to figure out where the numbers are for the payroll, and then we can make the adjustment. Why don't we get that information, we can discuss that
So
at
come
the,
back to this. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
all right?
Then we can find out on cars too. I'll find out how many cars are available and what they need. If whatever, we're gonna leave the money wherever, I don't care. But I thought he was looking at better part of 10,000 each for the vehicles.
Okay, but that,
I thought
I thought we had that figured out.
Okay, all right.
Well, you can talk to Kim about that, but it'll go in a different budget, reappraisal.
Yeah.
Not reappraisal. It'll be
it'll
acquisition.
just be a transfer from one department to the other.
Okay.
All right. I think that's it, Christie.
Thank you.
Okay. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Where is noon? There they come. Right on time. We are on page 54.
Good or bad? Good or bad?
I don't want to tell.
And I may ask, use some of that with us too, maybe at a break or something, just so we're not missing something that we wouldn't be able to.
And even if we had to, we could reduce some of those part-time or full-time by 6 or 50%.
We're ready for you. Pull up a chair.
I mean, that's, it's done and over. Just, I don't want to budget
Most
exception.
of ours are in the,
That's my big concern, like just,
More money, right here. Everything keeps coming up.
You
got your green shirt on, that means more money.
I don't recall, but it doesn't matter. I was just trying to find out what we paid for.
I don't care about
And Doug is supposed to
Good
know
afternoon,
that.
guys.
Good afternoon.
We are on page 54.
54. Well,
Other than salaries, we didn't raise the operating budget, kept it at 0% increase, which is what we're asked to do, so we did it the best we can. Any questions on that?
Just give us a second, I want to go through this a little bit.
With us agreeing to have the park employees have some input on some of the revenue, is there a line item in here for park
No, it's in building and land.
building and land?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's primarily for projects at the park.
Building and land, okay. Thank you, I'm sorry for that. Didn't know where that's gonna be increased, but say looking at the overall budget being ticked under last year, that's always encouraging, but only if I think that's appropriate. You guys fully staffed currently, or?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We got a good crew there working well together. It's really been kind of nice.
Well, I was just going through this because that's what we did with everyone else, or all of them. You know, the actual versus, you know, we are $4,000 down about the overall budget, if you look at the bottom, building and grounds park, you know. But there's, you know, 90,000, something like that. Between, and I mean, it appears as though most of the areas where there's extra, and I don't mean to say extra, but they're pretty, they would be rather fluid, meaning machinery and equipment, fuel, well, that's expensive. So I don't know if that's 3-0209, for instance. I was just starting again, looking through these to see where the differences were. I didn't know if you want to look at this at all.
Is the actual for the full year, or is it just through April?
I was just looking, I agree, it's down a little bit from last year, 4,000 or whatever, but it's still, the requested is, but the actuals off a fair amount. I just didn't know if you wanted to find anything there or not, we haven't.
I was looking at safety equipment.
Yeah, I saw
That we
that too.
need, it's gonna be quartered.
What?
Are you in that safety line?
Yes.
Oh, I see what
Page
you're saying.
56.
We actually spent 10 and we only budgeted 3.
Did we upgrade some security cameras or something?
Security cameras would came out of building and land.
So it's line item 5-0318. Actual was 10,000 and requested is 29.
That's,
And even the year before it was 75.
Yeah.
I'm sure the numbers could be played around with a little bit, but yeah, you're 90-some thousand dollars difference from budgeted versus actual expenses, and 65 of it came from personnel, so. let's
So
say you
actually
got-
there's not-
There's $25,000 in actual operational costs.
well,
That could be played around with if you want to move
but it's,
the line items around. But when you talk about pulling
You're
from
right.
payroll stuff, paid for operations, they're not doing that right now. So.
you're right.
I don't know if you want to
Okay.
play with numbers that make it look good, but
No.
I think we'll be
That's all right.
halfway close.
Yep, I'm fine with it. Because they can get it from somewhere else, is what they're saying, yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. You're right.
Okay, well, we're good with the budget. Should we go on to the,
And I gave you some of that is appropriate.
The panic buttons took it all.
Yeah, they do.
There's
The
deal.
increase on that's with the new system.
Yeah. The increase cut takes the new system into account that we're purchasing.
Is that for the courthouse? Then-
It will do all the
It
buildings.
will do all the buildings.
it's the, what we were replacing that used to go to the 911 center? Yeah,
I was just thinking maybe that could come out of project dollars. Evidently not.
no.
The panic buttons is what you have here, and it goes straight to the sheriff's office.
We don't have any.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do, right there.
I got
Oh,
one right
you've
there.
got one.
I've never used it.
And
Might have to run a test
with
on
the
that
new
before they-
radios.
And Dune was trying to look out for the county
it
here.
will.
He did ask
We do
at
not
a
go to
safety
911.
meeting
I
if they
understand
wanted to
that,
use their
the
cell
new
phones
system will go
instead.
to this old system.
No.
Get their new system,
No.
the sheriff's.
I agree. No, they're not gonna pay attention to cell phones like they were.
That's why we're getting the radio, which we've already purchased.
Talking about the new Centurions thing.
But now,
Like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago now, I guess, we approved the purchase of that Centurion.
Oh.
The radio kit so that the old system will work. Because apparently, from what I understand, the city's tearing down this tower that our system uses. And so they're gonna go to a whole different megawatts or whatever it is. So it's just creating us to upgrade the radio and everything.
Updating the frequency.
we've heard that before.
Okay, so we're good with the safety budget. We'll go on to the building and land.
Just looking for a little money down there. I haven't found any.
Then on page 57, you'll see where the beginning cash starts for the building and land reserve, and the amount of the inner and transfer from the inheritance fund, which is what supports this fund.
Okay. I see we're setting aside quite a bit for carpeting. Is that
For what, carpet?
carpeting? Yeah, what,
Well, we've had some requests for carpet to replace, one major place to replace carpet is the county attorney's building, if the board decides to do that. And we have, where else was it? Possibly to replace some in the plaza if we continue to use that building. It's got quite a bit of carpet that needs to be replaced. This budget number won't cover all of it, but it'll cover quite a bit of it.
Dean, dumb question on probation. How close are they to being completely moved over to federal building, or what stage are we at, or I guess, how's that?
They haven't made any progress towards doing that. That's something, I don't think the boards have decided what they're gonna do with the federal building yet, Scott.
Okay. Thought we had
That was something,
plans of getting it moved in and stuff.
They-
no, I think we were talking about trying to come up with some numbers about what it was gonna cost.
Okay.
That's, at least that's my recollection. And
Well,
we're-
it's all gonna depend on the extent of the remodel that you'll have to do over there. And that's kinda hard to do without a set plan. We set aside 500,000 in building and land to do that. And that was another number we had when we were gonna move another office over there. I think it was the county attorneys were looking at, social services was looking at it. It would take about 500,000 to move over there. We have a drawing that was done by Ken and Moss Brigger for the main floor. And the drawing, can't remember exactly what we paid for that, but if we go off of that, that would be just for the main floor. Now, Mark seems to think he can make the second floor work as it is with putting in partitions, cubicles, and different things like that. He'd want that bottom floor remodeled on that in-between section. Right now, we have adult
Probation.
drug testing going on there, and that's part of Mark's, but he explained to me how that works, but I can't remember. It's kind of confusing to state and the county all involved with that. Drug court, yes. Drug court, drug testing works there now. We remodeled the restrooms for that this past spring and moved them in there. Now it's all done. And so they've got a design for office layout next door to that. And just a design, but no numbers put together on how to what it's going to cost to construct it, because we didn't ask them for that. We asked them for a design, and we've got one. And
Well, that's something we need to revisit, but I'm not sure that's something we need to talk about today, other than just that we need to start talking about what we need to do is come up with some numbers.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah, and, I mean, not to sound whatever, but building and land, since it's supported by the inheritance fund, has no bearing on taxes. So, and they can move the dollars around from line item to line item at will.
Yeah.
So if we're okay with taking the transfer out of inheritance, that's really all that.
Yeah.
Because they come to us with any large expenditures anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we done?
Yeah.
Ready to move on.
Okay. Special revenue.
We have 1,050 in my records in special revenue, but for some reason, when I turned it over, it didn't get typed into the budget.
What page are you on?
That's on special revenue, if I can find it.
63?
Yeah, it'd be under park.
Are we gonna go through all of these projects that we need?
No,
I'm asking the board.
well, I guess, I mean, the point was, do you have a concern? Because if it comes from inheritance, and we're okay with the transfer from inheritance, and they can move line items in between, and they have to come to us for any large expenditures. Do you see the point? I mean, is there a, no, I'm just saying, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something.
Kim, I guess, are you asking why we're going from basically 1.7 up to like $3.4 million
No,
in
I'm
looking
just
projects?
saying,
Or
in past budget meetings, we have gone through everyone. I just want to make sure.
And last year,
that we're-
they even had a special meeting that we had to go
Yeah,
we
re-over
did.
them.
Yes, I just want to make sure everybody is good with everything, and that's all I'm doing.
and there's a
What's
lot
the
of
board
projects
wanna
on
do?
here,
I have no concerns.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I wasn't missing anything.
Yeah.
So, what do you?
I think
want?
we're fine, because it doesn't, again, like you said, that doesn't really impact, other than the inheritance fund, it doesn't in here.
Okay.
All right?
You can always move it back to inheritance if you really want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we know
You
that.
decided you didn't want it. You
Yeah.
can always move it to
Gary, do you have any heartburn over this?
What's that?
Do you have any heartburn over this? You okay with it?
I'm more interested in seeing what the mill levy is gonna be after.
Well, no, I mean, well, this won't affect the mill levy though, so. Okay.
Page 64. And
Yeah, you're-
Ours is actually on the next page.
65?
Yeah.
Okay. So you should have an amount in there?
1,050 should be in miscellaneous park projects, 5-2510.
I got donations and contributions on page 63, 53, or 534-01. And it's showing the 1050 in there
Yeah.
for revenue.
Okay, because I usually pay it out of that 5-2510. That's where I was looking for it.
Say it again? Yeah.
I prefer it to be moved so that my line items and everything, because
Is it
these are,
possible to move that from the line item 53 or 534-01 onto what line
Okay,
item?
so
did you-
page 63 is the revenue. And you guys are probably wanting to look at page 64, which is the expenses.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And all this there is miscellaneous.
Yeah, I mean, there's no impact on the levy here. This is if money comes in for a special purpose.
Right.
We basically budget it up to the $200,000 in case anything comes in, and then we budget the full $200,000 out. I mean, I don't know if there's any specific plans for the $23,000 currently sitting in there, but that's how the fund, works and how it functions.
I think that the concern was, Janet has a concern about where this, I don't understand. Why?
Karen, can you try to explain that one more time? Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
when I put the money into the treasurer's office, we have it going into that line 5-2510, which is miscellaneous park projects.
Which is not this budget, okay?
And that's where also then I draw the money out with their fund numbers. And that's where my 1,050 is what I mess with. I don't ever mess with that over there.
But this is the expense side, you're talking, the other one is the revenue side, right?
Yeah,
Okay, well, I'm looking at the special revenue,
we have special revenue, I'm seeing that.
but it's the page after that one.
Well, page 64 is the expense side of the special revenue.
Right.
Okay.
So we show the budget for the income, and then the expense would come over to the,
So what you're saying is this is where you deposit the park revenue. Is that what you're saying? You're putting it in special revenue budget, or you're putting it in the general fund?
I'm putting it in special revenue.
Because the general fund has a specific line for park revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which
why
is
would-
what budget I work off of.
Huh?
I think that's the budget I work off of.
Which one?
Fund 900, function 678.
Which is special revenue.
Special revenue. So.
10678 is special revenue.
Yes.
The line you said, 5-2510, that is an expense line. But like nothing's come out of that. And so I wonder if there's some confusion here, because if you've been trying to make a deposit to that line, you can't.
Okay.
Because it's not a revenue line, and so if you are saying you deposited the 1,050, then.
I did.
I assume the treasurer's office then took that, they kept it in the same fund for the line you gave them. It looks like they coded it to 534-01, which is on the revenue page for special revenue. So yeah, then I think the question becomes what Kim is bringing up is that should be going to the general fund, and I know Kim was, I think, just looking for the line item that she was referencing. but-
Which makes more
The
sense.
general fund
Right.
has a park and rec revenue line already, so we should be using the general fund for that.
Which if we, I guess I don't know how long it's been going on, I assume a while, we could, we could somehow, I would think it would not be very hard to get the details of this contributions line, from the treasurer. Doesn't look like there's a ton going through there, and we could figure out how much that was park money, we could just do a transfer.
just do one
It's
transaction.
a one-time
Yeah.
transfer in general.
If you feel that's necessary, I just think moving forward for all future revenue, it really needs to go to the general fund, unless the board thinks otherwise.
Yeah, well, I guess I would just think, to me, the special revenue fund it's just special revenue, so that inherently is not a very specific name. But I would think that this fund should be used for kind of special projects, so you guys can track them each year. Like, that's what I think this fund is for. And so it's, I mean, it's just at some point, do you want that money moved out just so it's not muddying up what is in there? It's not like there's a ton of money in there, and like I said, I know that balance has been slowly coming down, you know, over time, so I don't know if anyone has like a great background of what that original money was put in there for, but.
Well, if we get grant money, and we know it's coming in, because we can't spend anything out of here unless it's been deposited into it.
So if you have a
So-
grant,
And then if
a
you have
park
excess, it
grant,
just sits there.
that would make sense.
Yes,
to
the
me.
excess just sits there until next year.
If
The
we
grants
set up
wouldn't,
for a
but
grant, like
for
park
the
grants,
park
special-
projects, they do, because we get checks all the time.
So
And
if you
then they
got grant
deposit.
revenue from the park, that would make sense to me that it would be there.
Yes.
But if it's not grant related,
Right.
I think it should go to the general fund.
I agree.
Okay.
Well, but if it goes to the, I think, I see your, I see you have a concern. So I'm asking you, is your concern that if it goes to the general fund, that the park isn't getting the value?
No, there's a
No,
general fund account. though, for parks.
If I
No,
use,
I'm saying, I didn't know if she,
yeah, I guess that's where I look at it.
yeah, see, that's what she's concerned about. I think I know
Because
Janet
if I'm
pretty
not
well. And I think-
spending it,
Yeah.
I mean,
no one knows
She's
where
like-
it goes or who it
It's- that's
belongs
like,
to.
and so you want to make sure that the park is getting
Yes.
their, yeah.
If it's
Yes.
supposed to go back to the park, and that's how that was all decided when that was started, then I think, and if the park department is the only department using special revenue, then I think you could leave the process as is.
But I don't know that it is the only.
I don't think we are the only
I don't
ones.
think we
No,
are.
no, we have
Sheriff's
several.
Department gets special grants and stuff.
I mean, we can add a line to revenue that says park grant revenue.
And I'm just telling you, if you're letting anybody take money out of there, that's not good.
No,
Yeah, I'm
it
just
has
saying
to
it's
go.
really hard to like keep, I don't know, well, how do I wanna say this? When you're a department that is part of the general fund, and this goes for these guys, the assessor, the sheriff, everyone, there is really no protecting your own money, because most of your money's coming from property taxes. So like, if departments have money that, you know, quote unquote belongs to them, you almost have to set up, because like, yes, we could create a line for that revenue, but then who's gonna track, if we have multiple departments coming out of this fund, someone has to be tasked with tracking, well, this is Parks 5,000, this is Sheriff's 9,000, this is that, kinda like we do for like the Equipment Improvement Reserve. Like, Kim has to spend a lot of time like tracking that, and she updates that every month, it's a lot of work. So if that's what we're gonna do, that's fine, but someone has to track it. And I'll just say from like I don't want to offend anybody, from like a high level perspective though, if a department is being primarily funded with property taxes, it's hard for me to, like, same thing with like the sheriff wants their $9,000 of trade-in, I'm kind of like, why though? Because all their money comes from general fund. I would say kind of this, to me, the same logic applies here, of like, as long as you guys are making sure every department has what they need, I think that's what matters.
Well, I'll tell you why. We have screwed everybody down so tight that if they have any little bits and pieces of revenue, they're hanging on to it as hard as they can. That's exactly what's going on. Whether it's the sheriff and his little bit that he gets from cars, or whether it's them and the little bit they get for parks, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, these people, they have no discretionary funds. We have been so tight and so, I mean, we're insane about some of this stuff. I mean, we have really, and I'm not saying we couldn't, we should have. I haven't been, I mean, I've certainly been part of it, but that's where all this is coming from.
This is personal donations,
See?
quite frankly.
that's
Wayne,
where- yeah, it's-
Wayne Potter donated some money, and the Holtons donated money. So that's where it's always been in my 25 years, it's been in special revenue with that line item.
No, 100% agree. If someone is saying, I'm donating $1,000 so you can buy a new bench, like, in theory, it's restricted in some way by the donor. You should be tracking that separately. I just hope someone's keeping track of that, is what I'm saying.
Would it be possible for us to increase the line item under building and improvement from $25,000 to $26,050 to?
You don't need to adjust
No.
it.
I'm just saying, like, if they want to make sure that money gets spent at the park, that would be one way to just increase that line item.
But you also have to account for all the money that comes in during the year.
Yeah, you got to, you go to the general fund.
I mean, you could.
Why do we have to put it into general fund? Why can't we keep it in special revenue? Because it is not
Under
taxpayers'
parks.
money.
I think
Park
you,
special revenue.
I'm not opposed to
Thanks.
it being under special revenue, but I do want to ask you, Janet, then are you keeping, because what I'm worried about is if John Doe gives $1,000, okay, yes, perfect, that's what I want.
I keep track of exactly where I'm at and what money I spend it on and where I get it from.
No, that's what I want, so that if someone comes back and says, I donated $1,000, where's my bench? Somebody, that, right now that's Janet, can go, we haven't spent it, we still have it in this, we're still tracking that we haven't bought the bench yet, but your $1,000 hasn't been spent. Like, I want there to be an accountability to the donor at that point, is what I think is important.
But my question is that it wouldn't go under the, if it was money coming in, it wouldn't go to the expense account, it would go to the,
And it is under rev, so right now, the way it's been done is it's been put into special revenue, under donations and contributions, which sounds correct. I was more concerned that is anybody actually keeping track of this? It sounds like Janet is.
so we're okay.
Is good, and we, well, I guess then the other important thing is, we just gotta be almost careful about what gets spent out of special revenue, because if that money gets spent on another project, and then Janet comes in and says, we're ready to buy this $1,000 bench, that money
Can you
needs to
make
be
it
there.
park, can you make it park donations and
Exactly.
contributions?
That's what it does, it says,
No, it
just says
doesn't.
donations
No, it
and
doesn't.
contributions.
yeah.
Okay, but if you go to the second page, explain to me what this is different from, go to the next page.
Well, yeah, it has
These
to
are
be.
expenses.
These are your expenses.
Okay, so why on the 22510, where it has 120 and then 12,000, why can we not request the 10,050 for this year?
1,000.
Yeah, we can adjust that.
225,
5,
Yes, no,
Yes.
actually, what
We can adjust that.
what I would love is if during every budget year, Janet went, okay, and she'd give us a copy of her tracking sheet and go, hey, 10,000 of this is ours. We put her number in the miscellaneous park projects line, and then guys, we're just plugging that miscellaneous line. We would just change the plug.
And
Let's
Janet,
just
I
change
give you
plug
this
and do
budget every
1050.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know,
1,050.
this year though, this is all zero.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
didn't have the
I
1,000
didn't
to-
get anything back from you guys in this budget.
Yeah, I did, right there, 1,050.
All right, so can we just
But I
change
can
the plugs?
adjust it.
Yeah, let's check
Yeah.
it. And how much do you think it should be, Janet? Just the 1,050, or is it?
Right now, I have 1,050.
And that's exactly what was received last year, so it sounds like it was all squared up before that receipt. So we'll move the 1,050 to miscellaneous park projects, and then we'll just change, so what, the new number will be 198,950 for miscellaneous, if my head math is
Correct.
good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep, I can do that adjustment.
all right.
I knew that. I know
Thank you,
Janet
Janet.
way too well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
COVID account is closed out.
Hooray!
Nice job.
Gosh, if I would've known that, I would've bought Spark.
Oh, no, I knew we could have spent it in one project.
That was a lot. Thank you so
It
much.
was. You're
That was a
welcome.
lot.
Thanks for trusting me with
And
it.
unlike our famous moteller over in Kearney, we're not under investigation, so.
Yes. Thank goodness we are. Okay.
The last one is
Courthouse.
courthouse project.
Go.
Go, huh?
Yep.
Well,
I don't know what to say other than we're spending money.
Yeah.
Coming along really well. We have 13,149,000 shown spent already. Of course, courthouse fund.
At our last meeting, I said we had spent about 35%, and
Yeah.
they were about 35% done with the price.
Very nice. Thank you, Jane.
35%.
That says it all.
Right on track.
Right on track. We did have a walkthrough yesterday on second floor for outlets and data drops in the right place, and added a couple in some offices that needed them. So that'll be coming across for that, a cost for that. They're putting together another cost for that. I think I reported the roof is done.
Fully enclosed.
Fully enclosed, pretty much, yes. All the windows are in.
They're starting to put drywall up, right?
Not right now.
Didn't they drywall some in the basement?
They did put a finished wall up. Yes, they do have drywall in the basement. They have finished the wall and the flooring in the bathroom in the basement. That's completed. And so that much is done. They are running ductwork now, trying to get all the ductwork finished in the first floor and second floor. And so that's coming along really well. I had some questions on some of the ductwork, on how it's going to move air. They're going to find out the answers of that for me. I was kind of concerned about air movement in the building, so they're looking into that. The air handlers are on the roof, all ready to go, except for the ductwork getting hooked up.
Aren't they framing up the second floor?
They're framing up the third floor.
Third floor.
Second floor is all framed up.
Yeah.
They're working on the sally port, getting it ready to pour. They got the supporting walls up on each side on the driveway to it. They'll be working on taking it up further on where the sally port's going to be. We have a meeting tomorrow to talk about security with the sheriff's office and the corrections office tomorrow at 10 o'clock to talk about what they need for security and what they want and where it's going to be and who's going to be in control of things. So you're welcome to attend if anybody wants to, or if you want to zoom in, we can send you a zoom in link too, if you want that.
Are you gonna ask about the out-of-contract money?
Yep, that's the next thing. We're having some confusion on what's contract money and what's out-of-contract money right now. One of the meetings we have scheduled on Thursday morning is with the sound TVs and stuff inside the courtrooms. How that came up was last week, I got a call from Bo and he wanted the AV boxes, which I have not been part of that because that was handled through the IT department and Brandon was handling it. But I had to get a hold of the guys supplying the AV boxes and the TVs and the sound for the microphones and stuff. But the question remains, is that part of the contract or is that outside the contract? And because no one budgeted for it. I think you heard Doug this morning say he didn't budget for it. Of course, we haven't budgeted for it, so what's
It's still project money. It's project money. It's
Project
still gonna
money?
be there. It's just
But
whether
if it's not, if it's something that we go out to
It's
bid
not a
on,
contract, we don't have to pay it.
we don't have to pay anything to the architects or the general contractor. That'd be just our bill.
no.
But
So
it's
like
still
the
contract.
asbestos and that, take it out
I
of
know,
that
I know, I know.
50221.
And the asbestos for the old courthouse, do we take that out of that same fund?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Okay.
project money, but it's, again, the chief is not responsible for the removal of the
That's
asbestos.
outside, yeah.
Okay?
So IT was in, are you through with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So IT was in earlier this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and we chatted about this same sort, some of these same items. And all I would ask is that you and and Brandon are like one person when it comes to this, because you're signing off on it, your name's gonna be on this.
Yeah.
But he's the guy with all the expertise.
Yep.
And I mean, and you well know that. So he needs, I mean, he's the guy. Man, like I said, my concern with that is just simply that's, you know, there's one guy with the expertise, one guy who's signing off as the responsible party. So, you know, just make sure that, boy, you're in lockstep with Brandon.
I will be.
That part was the only thing. Everything is so specific and so detailed. I'm amazed. And I appreciate how well everyone's worked together. It sounds like we're gonna have little hiccups, but that's,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so thank you.
No, Brandon and I working pretty well together on it. He lined up these guys, this company, to come in and talk with the judges way early on, before the project actually got off the ground, to talk about what they wanted in their courtrooms as far as sound and cameras and everything. And then I scheduled the meeting for tomorrow to get the contractor, the electrical contractor, and the guy selling the equipment, so that they're all on the same page as far as equipment, as far as what needs to be done, where it needs to be installed. And, because Chief's installing it, the boxes and stuff, so, and running the wire, so.
Okay.
So, and I'll just tell you that, I mean, just as a reminder that, not to belabor this, but when we built the jail, I well remember, however things turned out, Holly and Fred didn't take a day off for over a year. It was like 14 months or something while this thing was being built. They didn't take one day off because they just, I mean, like vacation. Because, I mean, that's how, there's just so many moving parts. So thank you. Yeah. All right.
I think we're finished.
I
Yeah,
guess we
thank you
take
very
it
much.
out of here and that's nice.
Thanks for all you do, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
While everybody's clearing in and out, I appreciate the board members too that have stayed on top of this. This is a lot. I mean, and there's a lot more moving parts here than there were with jail cells.
I think Janet's stuff is still there.
Janet, you got a folder on there?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
you're
took
good.
your chair away too.
You're good.
All right.
Dune, is this your pencil?
Okay.
I'll bring one up if I need it.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
Next up is extension, and I did ask Marty to come sit in today because we have not had this finalized with College Park. We are, until they give us what we need to go on with the state auditor's findings, and until we get this settled, we didn't want to take anything out of this budget at this point. We did increase like the wages, you know, the 3% COLA that they explained us to do, but at this point where we just are in limbo and things aren't settled. I don't know what you want to say, Marty.
I don't understand this budgeting process as well as I probably should.
Oh,
All
okay.
of
Well-
the College Park reimbursement comes from this line item, from this budget?
Yes, correct.
Okay, yeah.
And so where we are just so uncertain and we don't have an answer back from College Park as to how they're gonna, you know, take the overcharges and that they overcharged the county from the state auditor's findings, and we've got the documentation from the state auditor as to how we needed to come up with those dollars. We've got all the documentation, all the information. They're only, basically, we're only going back the 5 years where it would be 10, so College Park did get a heck of a windfall from the.
Okay, I'm going to clarify that. We need to be careful in what we're saying here.
Okay,
If this became adversarial and a lawsuit ensued, there would only be so much that we can look back and try to recover for. So we're trying to find a happy medium that acknowledges the fact that if we sued College Park, we aren't likely to recover all the way 10 years back. So we're working through that process. We're going to be meeting. Karen's got a couple of board agenda items on the College Park board. I'm going to be there Friday morning with Karen to be able to answer any questions. I sent out a proposal that hopefully will be amicable. I would suggest that what we do is we budget as if we were going to pay exactly what we expected to pay with respect to the 17.63% of reimbursement rate. We are proposing that we fix the reimbursement at 25% for the executive director's salary. He kept time over the course of the last 3 months, and it appears that roughly 25% of his time, and we figured 23 to 25 seems about right, so that way we can have a fixed number to look at every single month as a reimbursement. And we have proposed to make that a fixed number with them going forward, and for looking back those till I believe we talked about August of 2020. So the budget I'm guessing you're going to see, and I have not reviewed it, but a budget I'm guessing you're going to see as if we were going to continue to reimburse without any of this stuff on the side. It can only get less if we come to some different agreements with College Park. And I do think we'll come to agreement with College Park, at least to some degree.
But right now, you really don't know the numbers. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry? What was the,
So it is the depreciation, which is 21680, and then also the maintenance janitorial, which is 20609.
But we're talking about wages, is that correct?
So as part of the maintenance,
Local agreement essentially.
yeah.
It's interlocal. But it's because we own part of the building. And so the reason I had Marty come was just to say, since we are in limbo, we did what we were that we were told by the county. And so we just would like to leave this budget alone at this point until we get finalizing. Also, there is utilities upgrade that's to the tune of about $1,800 that they want us to upgrade the main office and the other room. So we would have to do some lighting, so that would come out of this.
out of the depreciation fund, which
No, we don't want to put it out of depreciation, we want to take it out of this.
Utilities.
Because then we would have to supplement the depreciation fund back. So
Okay.
if we have any
All right,
little bit
the point
left-
is that would typically come from the depreciation account.
Correct.
But we don't want to.
But we do have
But then
it.
we'd have to fund it again until it got to that
Because
level.
then we'd have to refund that, and it would
Okay.
just be simpler if we have any money left over to come out of this fund. Does that make any sense?
Does to me.
So what you're recommending is that we approve the budget as presented?
Correct, if that would work with the board.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fine.
makes great sense. Thank you.
All right.
You've done a lot on this.
And thank you, Marty, for coming today.
Absolutely.
I could make one just to take some time if you wanted me to. But no, thank you. I think everything else was pretty much all right on track where we should be. So we'll get this figured out within the next year, and we'll be good.
It looks like we do have a little bit of money in the equipment improvement reserve. Is that right?
Go ahead, Tammy.
So that's
Is that
the
for rental?
depreciation fund, where we contribute to College Park up to $100,000 for, major improvements to the building. So that's part of the negotiation that we're working through. So yes.
Ron, are you talking about the computer and laminating?
Yeah, that. Yeah,
Oh.
it's on the,
With how you're saving up money you have 3,000 for a computer and 5,300 for a laminator?
Okay, yeah,
You're good.
sorry.
That's what Ron's talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Are
okay.
you on track for saving up for those, or what do you think you'll need them by?
We're hoping the laminator to make it through fair, which is this week, but probably towards this fall. It's kind of on its last leg. And then computer-wise, usually the university has us purchase our computers like March or so. So,
And
yeah.
the 5,300 will be enough for the laminator, about right?
Yep, as far as pricing what we did in May, so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Jiminy Christmas, it's been 3 minutes. What did we say? Oh, I don't, it's outside of the agenda. I'm not certain that I can.
Well, we talked about it earlier, so.
Did you guys talk about the chaplain
Yes.
fund?
It's within the
Yeah,
justice
it was
fund.
one of the things that it's in the justice. bid.
Can we revisit that?
Sure.
I will make it absolutely clear that if we are not getting refunded, we are going to be done with the payment for this. I was unaware. I thought we had made some progress. I'm looking at Marla. Maybe not. This is my name on the line, and I will make sure that we are going to no longer pay out Hall County funds until we get reimbursed the funds that we were promised. We were supposed to be a direct pass-through with Marla's in-kind donation of her time or her or her people's time. And if we are underwater on that, this needs to be rectified before I would recommend the Hall County Board approve any future claims.
Very good. Joe, I talked to him Thursday morning, but
Yeah.
it worked out well.
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marty.
I do remember that. I think they were.
Mr. Roseland.
Well, good afternoon.
Page 73.
No, please do. Sure.
So, I'll give you the same information I gave the members of the interlocal committee back in May when we met. There's as far as the emergency management budget, there are no new costs other than the anticipated Motorola maintenance cost. That contract will begin as soon as that contract starts as soon as we have final acceptance of the project. I had hoped to have that done now. We're still waiting for some work between the state OCIO and CDIT to hook up our, we have a radio recorder. And normally we would record the lines, the radios, but we don't own the radio. The new system actually pulls the recordings from the core server in Lincoln. But that means I have to have a data connection between here and the state. And working with the state IT department has been a challenge. Getting all that done, and there's just there's a lot more hoops than we anticipated. So the 5-year contract starts as soon as final acceptance. I would imagine, hopefully, in the next 8 weeks, we'll be able to get final acceptance. That would put the first annual payment 12 months from that final acceptance date. And that's about $220,000 in year one, and it goes up a little bit every year for the 5 years. So that's the only new operational expense. In order to make room for that, we try to nip and tuck a few things where we could, and you might see where that happened. But one of the things we did to help accommodate that is for about 15, 17 years, we've had 2 employees that were being paid for out of the special revenue funds, the 215 and the 216 by ratio. For a number of years, we've wanted to move the employees out of the special revenue fund to the general fund because it helps us to put more predictable expenses like bills on more predictable and static income like the 215 and the 216. That's the landline and the wireless 911 funds. So what we did this year is we took those 2 employees out of the 215, 216 funding, and we moved a number of operational expenses out of the general fund into those special revenue funds, according to what qualifies for each of the 2 different funds. The state wireless fund does have a handful of restrictions. They have a tighter set of restrictions for certain 911 costs than the 215, which is any 911 attributable cost. And then we split that $220,000 roughly in half. Half of it is in the general fund, half of it is carried by the special revenue funds. So So what you see here, this increase includes that shifting of expenses. 2 new employees on the general fund. So when you see the personnel increase of 23% or what have you, that's because you've got 2 new employees plus their wages and benefits increase. There are no new FTEs for the department this year. Then we talked about the switching back and forth. Personnel services increase was about 11.5% total. Operating increase was 23%, and that's that $220,000 bill that we try to split half and half. Let's see. what we tried to do when we put expenses from the general fund to the special revenues, we try to make sure that we could have about 75 to 85% of the income spent out of those funds. We want to exercise as much of that income as possible, but we also don't want to bump up against 90 or 95, otherwise we may have some unanticipated costs that would push us over, and we can't spend more than we bring in on those two funds. And then when it comes to capital projects, this year we're finishing the radio project. When I say this year, I think about the city's fiscal year. We should finish by September, by the end of the city's fiscal year. Because if I carry this budget over into another fiscal year, I might have some frowny faces across the street. Then we did put in an HVAC upgrade over there at City Hall. The new equipment downstairs generated quite a bit of heat in my old office. And so we put in a wall unit. And then we have to upgrade the cameras at City Hall. The cameras at City Hall are Chinese-made, and so we need to remove the Chinese-made devices and replace those with American-made devices for IT security. And then next year, we're looking at the same. Every year we ask for 2 sirens. We also every year ask to have enough money for one spare UHF repeater in case one of our UHF repeaters go out. A mobile radio for our pickup truck, and UPS batteries for the facility on North Road. That's about $15,000 for those batteries, and they need to be replaced every 4 to 5 years. And we've replaced them once, and we're going to need to replace those one more time. That's our budget. Wonder if I could answer any questions.
John, on the HVAC project, did the city end up picking that up? Like
They sure did. Yep, they sure did. Yeah, that took it out of the building maintenance fund.
So let me read this. How much did we go up this year from last year then?
342, 875.
What is it?
342, 875. If you go to the top of
Very
the
top of
first
the first
page,
Okay.
in yellow,
That part right there.
so that's about a 13. Now, at roughly 220 of that would be your that Motorola contract. Even though we're moving things back and forth, the real sticker shock this year is Motorola.
And John, did you say that the first payment is due 1 year upon completion of the project? Is this even going to come out of this year's budget?
It may not yours. It would come out of the cities, but it may not come out of yours. So.
Just curious from our standpoint if it is worth budgeting the extra $110,000 for the county for this year, since it's not going to come out of our budget this year.
Right, yeah, because.
For any year moving forward, we're
Yeah.
only going to have one payment to
Right.
budget for.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work for your budget and the city, since they do not overlap
Yeah.
exactly, but our payment would not be coming out until a year from August at the earliest.
Yeah, I would say at the earliest.
So
Years from August.
I really am curious as to why we wouldn't maybe take off 110 or 111,000 off the county portion for this year. Know that our bigger sticker shock's coming next year, I guess.
You can certainly do that, and that's one of the intricacies of these offsetting budget calendars between the city and the county. Is when we have something, if we have a big bill, and that'll be the thing to keep in mind, is that big bill will come every year for 5 years in that terrible interim, and I hate the interim year. If I had my way, I'd push it until September or October 1, because then it wouldn't be so bad for everybody. Sometimes I think Mick Jagger said you can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you get what you need. So I guess it's up to you what you want to. You could probably take everything and say we're going to back out 110 out of my 1.4 million, and that can be some savings for you. Just knowing that your bill will come due in your next fiscal year and the city's
So we'll go a year later.
Yeah, you're not gonna see that bill. You won't see that bill in your next fiscal year, because, as far as I know, Motorola tells me they don't start the clock until after we do final acceptance, which seems fair, because we're still in construction.
And first payment will not be till 1 year after that.
Right, should be 1 year after that.
Best case scenario, it would be a year from now, which
Yep.
is not gonna be in the actual budget we're
Yeah.
discussing. So there's at least $110,000 that will not get paid this year on a contract.
John gonna remember to add that in for next year?
Oh, he'll.
No, it'll be, see, and you should know, when I do this budget, this is a city fiscal year budget, I don't speak both languages financially. If you speak two languages financially, you will have financial improprieties.
You have it in this budget.
I have it in this budget, because this is the city.
We were hoping to have it up and running back in May.
Yeah. So, you guys kind of get to determine how you write your numbers, because I know that you don't use my spreadsheets other than a guide that are generally correct, except for this big bill that's gonna come out every year. Now, after that first year, it'll all be the same. You know, it's just this first year where you have that 3-month offset.
And then, dumb question, John, is there any possibility that by the time you do get final approval, it will be after October 1?
I would say no, except there have been so many darn delays on this. I'm not gonna lie. I don't put it past Motorola to be slow on anything. We have seen, for instance, Motorola projects, like when we did the E911 project with that East Central conglomerate for the phone system. The city of Columbus was the fiscal agent. They didn't see a bill for that project for months and months and months after final acceptance. And they couldn't bill us until they got billed. And so, I would say it was 6 or 8 months afterwards. Now, I have not seen that kind of delay in the radio side. And something to keep in mind is Motorola is kind of like the federal government. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing in a lot of ways. And so Motorola Radio, I think, has been billing us fairly timely, as opposed to Motorola CallWorks. The phone system had a history of being kind of lagging. I don't believe we will see this extend past October 1.
So when you get your bill,
Yes.
will you be able to pay half of it?
No, when we get the bill, next August,
Bill's next August.
or next September, the city would pay it, and then at the end of that month, they would bill you 50% of all of the bills after revenue, just like they would normally do.
So, okay, so I see where the money would be. So then, is this a one-time bill?
No, it's annual it's a 5-year contract.
So ours will be extended 1 year. It's just whether we want to take the
Right.
risk of having, we have some money available this year.
I know, but the
Will we
problem
have the same
Then will it go to the city's
advantage
general?
5 years from now?
But what the deal is we're gonna be able to draw interest off that 110 per year, or the city's gonna draw interest off of it for 100
Well,
per
they
year.
won't for you.
Well,
we're
we
not
were,
going to get a bill until.
yeah, we won't get a bill until until August or September of 27.
See where I'm going with it?
I
So
understand. that.
whether you're gonna tax it, do we wanna tax it this year? Or that extra 5 years from now, when the city will be doing it, their last will be 4 years from now. So I don't know what your budgeting situation is. I mean, we're all gonna have to pay the same amount of money, it's just
Yeah.
whether ours are in year 2 through 6
Yeah.
instead of 1 through 5.
Yeah, I mean, essentially what you'll do is, because, I mean, you'll pay the bill in, let's say September.
Yeah.
Let's say September of 27, September of 28, September of 29. So you can sit that, now, the only reason that you're gonna be kind of offset is year 1
Right.
of this payment. So on the second payment, both you and the city are paying it and budgeting for it next year. So, numerically, I'm sure the county could say, we're not gonna get that bill. The city will in their fiscal year, but we won't. Hence, I could see, it's a very reasonable thing to say, we're gonna cut that bill, to the city for John's department, $100,000, because we don't anticipate that bill coming due until after fiscal year 27 starts. It's a reasonable thing to do.
I understand all of that, I don't have any problems with that. My problem is, with our budgeting, and I don't know if the cities is the same under the new legislative, I don't think it is. I think your legislative issues are different than ours.
Hmm.
Ours depend on all kinds of goofy calculations that are gonna change again next year.
Sure.
So I guess my only thing is maybe we ought to accept a bird in the hand and go.
Well, I think the thing to do would be to hold this to the side. We can make that adjustment when we make the final decision and see
There you
where
go.
we're at on the
That's
800,000.
kind of where I am.
There you go.
Yeah, 'cause I
It's potential wiggle room for you if you
Yes.
need it.
Yes,
That's
So-
something.
that's, yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think so too.
Yep. It doesn't hurt if you can collect it in this fiscal year, and then you have it day one of next fiscal year, then you're not scrambling for it. I don't know how often you scramble for $100,000 in the first couple of years. I always think it's odd
always
that you're already in the fiscal year, setting a budget for the current fiscal year. It's fine by me, because,
And we don't even know how much money we have.
right.
We're gonna guess, and then we find out how much money.
Fortunately, we're all really good at what we do, and we manage money like a miser anyway. So when we do that, we set ourselves up for success.
Hopefully, but then you heard how, this is, $1,050 and, I mean, Janet was just, she was having a heart attack.
Yeah,
over
I
it.
understand that.
So I'm just saying,
No.
that's what we've done.
Yeah.
We've done that, but
Yep.
it's because of all the things, I think miser, that's a good word.
I would like to point out, you're not adding any FTEs. I know you've felt that is necessary, but I think a couple things that have happened this year are going to free up a lot of time for your people. One of which is
Yeah.
that you're no longer responsible for our security at our buildings.
Right.
And then the second one was the, oh, yes, all
Alarm
the sheriffs
systems, right.
can't forward patch in the calls like they're out in the field. They can't use their,
The phone systems just don't allow us to, we used to be able to take a phone line, marry them, then we would disconnect and they would stay connected, but not on our system. What they do now is they tie up two of my lines in my system, and so then I have fewer lines to come in and fewer lines to make outbound calls, double. So one phone call takes two lines when we do that. And that's part of this that's the way the computer system was run. The previous system wouldn't do that. It would link it and go. But IP phone systems are different than old school PBXs, so, and I know our friends in the police and law enforcement, they didn't like that change, because what happens is,
Additional 12,000 a year.
well, and it's also, and it means that they had to use their own phones, and boy, nobody, and I get that. So we really felt bad that we couldn't provide that kind of service like we had in the past. It's just, the technology of phone system is, and talking about phone lines, we found that Lumen sold 4 of our phone lines out from underneath us without our permission. And so we have 4 less phone lines right now, 2 fax lines and 2 voice lines, maybe 3 voice lines that went away. And so Mindy's been on the phone for 2 straight weeks with Lumen trying to get our phone lines back. And that has limited us, because if we have a couple of phone calls in, maybe 3 phone calls in, or we're making phone calls, we're hamstrung by how many telephone conversations I can have at a time, and it's becoming a bit of an issue. So, phone systems, I'll be glad when I don't have to worry about that again. So, but we're really, I anticipate by the end of the month that we should have that firewall between us and the state up and running, and then we can migrate. We decided as users, as soon as that system is ready to go, we'll give ourselves about 4 to 7 days for anything else to pop up, and we would kick off operations on a Tuesday morning. Give ourselves Monday to get everything in order, kick it off on Tuesday, and then see how it goes. And then we can get Platte Valley out, and they can reprogram that repeater out there at the landfill for that voting repeater, and the one over there at the law enforcement center for the county fire departments. And then I can sign final agreement, and then I can live the rest of my life under Motorola's thumb.
Really.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, well,
Pretty big thing.
anything else that we should discuss as far as the 9/11 tax? Is that something that,
well, you're all set. Yeah, the county has it set at the lid, which is $1, which has been the lid since cell phones flipped open, and you would pull out an antenna, It does seem like it's might not have grown to meet the, as you can see, it's more and more expensive to operate a 911 center than it was even 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, because of the technology requirements. So, but the ability to capture revenue off of cell phones, and they're 85% of our operations, is hampered by by the inability for you to raise it any more than $1. And I don't think people would bat an eye that it goes to $2 on their phone bill for 911, since it's been the same way for 30 years. The state collects 60 cents or 40, I can't remember, for the wireless, but there has been some legislation to try to equalize it out so that Douglas can go above that 50 cents. We'll see if that works out. We are fortunate that the formula by which they utilized to allot us wireless money focuses quite a bit on call volume, and we have a lot of call volume. And so we benefited and got a little bit of a raise from about a 10% increase in our allotment from them this last year, so.
Fun
Okay.
fact, my children found my husband's first bag phone.
Really,
They know what it was.
that is awesome. That's awesome.
Well, they
gave
didn't
them
know
to
for sure.
Goodwill.
Huh?
I gave them to Goodwill. I had 2 of them in the house.
Next time, we'll probably just take that to Stir Museum.
Somebody else.
I know we have a display downstairs in City Hall of a series of improvements in radio and phone technology, so. That's right, that's right.
You had to leave it in your car and everything.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
thanks, John.
Thank you all very much.
We appreciate your efforts.
Well, and I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you thinking of me as a county official, even though I sometimes wear that city jersey.
Well, that's where your bread's buttered.
I wear a dual jersey.
I think it's
You
important.
need to be at the Harvest of Harmony Parade.
I can't, I'm gonna be with my mom and dad.
I know, I'm just
Yeah.
giving you guff.
No, I know. To be honest, on thinking about that, I think for our emergency operations, I may be pulling myself out of the management of some of those things that aren't emergency based.
Yeah.
So that something happens, I don't have a foot tied down with the judges,
Right,
Because
I understand.
but I'm training a good guy to take my place.
Okay, sounds good.
Don't you fret.
All right, thank you, John.
I think it's important to, again, point out that their cost of living increase is the same as the other portions of the city, which impacts our budget, and we have no control over it. Their cost of living,
Oh, yes.
huh?
I agree.
We should at least go have a meeting.
Yeah. If we would have kept him in the basement, it wouldn't be this expensive.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, there's,
It impacts us.
every time we get in bed with the city, it costs us money. Every time. It's
All right, we are ready to go to CASA. Is that the next one?
Yep, so it's part of the justice budget. If you go back
Is
to
that day
page.
3?
Yeah, day 3, page 36.
Yep, day 3, page 3, go to 35 is the page CASA's on. And it's line 2-2422.
Got it budgeted at 70, and the last 2 years have been 50 and 58,000
Last year was 70. Last year was 50.
actual expenses.
No, actual was 58 last year.
50 and 58,000 for the last 2 years actual.
So their request was for 70 again. I just wasn't sure if there was some other grant funding that I wasn't aware of or something. I don't know. Karen, did you have any more information or something on that?
No, CASA I did not.
Okay, did you notice on the operating statement that CASA, has Barb talked to you about the claim that she got from CASA? This recent, oh, you were gone. Okay. It was budgeted last year for the 70,000, or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, what happened, they did not submit a claim for the rest of their funds. So we received a claim in July, and they added June's funds, their June payment on July payment. So, you know, you can't really pay last year's budget in the new fiscal year. So it was something that happened on their side. They did not submit a claim for their last payment. So I don't know what you want to do with that. I said, don't do anything with it right now, because we gotta figure it out. I mean, we're having budget meetings, so we just need to discuss it, but they did not submit a
Did
claim
they
for
have a
their
lot of
last-
turnover at CASA?
I think it was May and June, because it was 58.
They probably don't work on a fiscal year.
I mean, what, it's basically like $12,000, right? I'm just looking at, they budget, 70 is what was budgeted, they only took out basically 58,000, so 12,000. Okay, it's up to you guys, but I would say if you pay the extra 12,000, so I assume they're gonna do 70 again, so you'd end up paying 82. It's not gonna bust justice budget.
So, like I said, we weren't gonna, this office wasn't gonna process till we had a discussion. So, because it will affect this fiscal year budget too.
Correct.
No, she's mentioned that she kind of struggles with that. She says, Kim will be like, can't claim the match.
Wasn't there a change of directors or something going on there?
Well, the only thing, we got a new front desk girl,
Oh,
but she's been there a little while. I don't
Okay.
think she would be insured, but
Willow Rising had a big problem.
okay, there, I
That's
knew there
where
was
you
one
might
of them,
be coming
yeah.
up with that, Marla.
I knew there was one of them that had
Yeah.
quite a turnover.
Yeah, Willow Rising
Willow
has had
Rising
a lot
was,
of
okay.
problems. Hopefully
So-
they get that
So we'll just
straightened
run
out.
that line over.
I think you could, I mean, you could also hold it to CASA and tell them you're not gonna pay them, but like, I don't know if that's what you really wanna do
Well,
here.
I didn't really want to do that. Now,
And then when if it's just $12,000, like, that's not gonna turn this budget upside down by any means, so.
So do you want to just,
we keep
well,
the
then
request
that
Right.
way the
at
budget
70.
dollar amount's going to be the same, because that's what they requested. So we'll go ahead and
Right.
process that. Okay, that's what I needed to know.
mention it to them. The system is, they submit their claim by the end of the month to you.
Well, no, they have to submit their claim when we process claims. Now, one thing we need to remember, in June of this year, claims were paid out on the 16th of June,
'cause it's
regular claims.
I mean, it looks like they're just submitting for a fixed amount every month. Can they just submit it? I mean, I can tell by the math that they're just submitting an even amount every month. Can they just submit it on the first of the month?
The first of the month.
That's what I never
Yeah,
did.
that
Yeah,
would
they're
be
waiting
much
too
better.
long
Right.
to do it.
Yeah.
Because like the 16th, we had to have everything.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're doing any math besides taking 70,000 divided by 12, like that they're not adding up bills or like they don't need to wait for invoices, like they just need to print it out,
Yeah, they could get their computer.
change the date and be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I don't know why they didn't, so
Well,
I,
because
Right.
They don't know our system. So number one, just, we're gonna
But
submit,
That feels easy.
1 month would not be,
It's
Yeah, it
at
was
2
coming
months,
in.
Ron. 2 months appears to be what's missing.
but it'll kill.
And,
them.
and Marla said she thought it might be May and June,
it was
so.
me.
okay,
Yep.
I forgot, I should have brought it down.
okay.
I
Yeah.
gotta put that up.
Yeah, just have, from now on, we need to just make sure that they do that, okay? All right,
Okay.
then the next one's the opioid.
Yep, so this one, I mean, there's money that's been sitting in there slowly, that's been getting spent down. We just budget to a certain amount in case any revenue comes in, so this year we just went up to 85,000, which is, the 35 that we budgeted for revenue is the same or less as what's been received in previous years. And then on page, not 81, page 38, on the next page, that's just the expenses. Again, we just budget that the full amount can be spent, and then this money is just spent for, it's supposed to be spent on kind of like drug prevention type costs, and so this money just gets spent down as you guys are able to find ways to spend it, basically.
And currently the corrections, the jails are using it for their mental health costs. So we spend about $3,500 a month.
So if that continues, you might, eventually you might get through this money. After that, you've got the local assistance and tribal fund that was fully spent after last year, so kind of like COVID, this is just showing zeros. Just kind of waiting for the history to go away before we remove these pages. Next is the gaming tax fund. On page 41, you have the revenues. So you can see where in the actual column, so last year $1,553,057.12 was received. Right now, what we've done, I've already told you at the beginning of this meeting that on the next page, you'll see that a $1.5 million transfer has been budgeted to support the levy. So basically the equivalent of what was received in. And then for like next year's budget, basically, I mean, we budgeted for another 1.1 million to come in. I mean, more could come in, and if you guys want that bumped by another, 500,000 or even $1 million, we can. And I would not recommend transferring anything that isn't already in cash reserves. Like, for example, right now, we just have other equipment as the kind of plug or other expenditure line to get to the full 3 million. I mean, I wouldn't budget a transfer of money that you don't have. But if you thought a bunch of money was going to come in and you might want to spend it on some kind of special purpose, we could play with that fund, and instead of doing up to 3 million, we could do 3.5 or 4 million, but.
We shouldn't spend expected dollars.
Right. No.
We shouldn't make,
Yeah, it was the
We shouldn't.
concrete of the veterans park.
Right, no, and it would only be for the purpose of if it comes in and you wanted to spend it, you could, but I hope that we've already created enough room with the 3 million. I just didn't know if anybody would comment on the fact that we only budgeted for $1.1 million in receipts when we had 1.5 in the previous year.
What's the advantage of budgeting the additional amount?
If it comes in, you could spend it, and if you did, I mean, you could, during the year, make a decision as a board to spend something out of this fund. It would just continue to spend the funds down so that you wouldn't have it in future periods, basically. And like I said, if you don't have any current plans, I hope what we've budgeted is already enough, which is why we didn't increase it from the 3 million, but that's ultimately up to you guys, and if you know things that I don't know. I mean, I'm here at these meetings a handful of days a year, so if you know things that I'm not aware of, I'm just opening up the floor, but I think, I'm hoping we've done enough with what I know. I think the 3 million is enough.
even if it comes to more than that, all it does is help us practice a little restraint. So I would.
Yeah, the money would just be there the next year.
I'm one vote, but I would leave
Yeah, okay.
it. What would you do? There you go. See? I
We
just
already
said
did
look
that.
at it.
That's the.
We
main
already
part.
did that, Gary. I really don't want anything allotted for an actual, like, cause here's what, if something would happen, and I'm not saying it would, and maybe I'm a little bit conservative in how I approach some of these things. But like, if we would budget, let's say we budgeted 3 million to lower the tax levy, then if the gaming tax doesn't come in, you guys are in a really bad spot. And do I think the gaming tax will probably come in? Yeah, probably. I mean, we're starting to see a pattern and a buildup from the activity at the casino, which is great. But I wouldn't want to budget that, and then if for some reason it didn't come in, say another pandemic happens, casino's gonna get shut down, that gaming tax is gonna stop, and if you've budgeted to support your sheriff salaries, well, whose check are you not gonna write? I mean, if, as far as a transfer, I'd rather that be budgeted on actual cash that we have. And then if those other receipts come in and something comes up, you have a line item so you can still spend it. But I don't want us to, use it for a transfer and then
See, there we
it
go.
not come in and then you not have it for some reason, and then not know how you're gonna fill the gap.
Well, another example would be, let's say they had a fire at the casino,
Right.
had to close down for 2 months or
But
6
we're
months.
putting,
Hit by a meteorite too.
Huh?
but we're putting this plug number in, and
So the 1.5 transfer to general is not a plug number.
That's an
Right.
actual transfer.
That is an actual
transfer, that's actual cash that can be done. The plug number is the other equipment, the 1.5.
5-1100 on page 42.
That's the
Number
plug number.
41, Karen, the 1.553.
Yes.
1,553,000 is what we actually collected.
yep,
And we are gonna spend 1.5, so there is $53,000 additional. If we really wanted to change that number, we could change the plug and we could do all those things.
And this number might change. I mean, as I brought up in the first part of this meeting, this is a number, there's several numbers that I think you guys are gonna end up playing with however you want this budget to look. So like, I would not be surprised if that number changes. We just took what we'd been doing, which was basically take the prior year receipt and went ahead and budgeted it as a transfer.
right, because we could get 600,000 out of
We could move this, yep, in a couple different directions.
Yeah, we could move 600 out of here and we wouldn't have to have that meeting.
Say that again, I didn't quite hear you.
Let's see if we can't find other ones to do
I was gonna
that.
say, I think we still got some other days.
And then,
Well,
and
I'm
then
just
we,
saying.
My rough scratching today, we're tickling on 300,000 from potential cuts if we want to.
Yeah, well, I just thought it would save us printing and all that.
Well, we're supposed to get reimbursed for those.
Well, okay, Kim.
Supposed to. We're
Okay.
supposed to get reimbursed for a lot.
Okay, go ahead.
So that's what's been done there so far. Like I said, I feel like we're gonna revisit this fund at some point, but at that, I just want you to at least know what's been done already. Keno lottery, obviously you guys know this money comes primarily from the ticket sales. They continue to be, you know, fairly consistent over the last couple years. We basically have this fund built up to a little over 1.1 million. On the next page, you have the expenses that typically comes out of Keno, including on page 45 is we just bumped up a little bit the tax relief transfer from 245 to 250,000. So that is being budgeted as a transfer there. And then I don't know if any kind of approval needs to be done on grants for Keno.
We do need to finalize some of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
there were two that we had.
Well, we did,
finalized, right?
we did all of them at.
We just left two.
I've actually got it scheduled for day 3
Okay.
because, the gal with, yes, the voice for companion animals, Robin Mays, will come in and talk to you guys about their request. So we can put that off until.
Sounds good.
Till Monday, and then you guys can make a final decision.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Then the next page 46 is the Keno Reserve, and basically there's $50,000 kept in here. This is really for like big wins, basically. So this 50,000 just kind of stays in here in case there's any big wins that need to be paid out. Next is the county board budget on page 48. So this comes out of general fund, and there's not a lot of big changes here. You guys don't have any issues keeping under expenses. I did hear some banter earlier. I don't know what's been built into this budget as far as like potential changes or cushion for new board members, especially for health insurance changes.
What is currently budgeted is that,
156.
I see that, but we only spent 124, so that must mean that we might have budgeted for
Maybe somebody came off, it looks like it was 147 the year before that, and
I came
then,
off family to single a few months ago.
that looks like even a bigger change than that maybe, I'm not sure, but
Well, that would potentially be one, right?
that's almost a whole
Right.
year of change, I would think. I mean, that's
it may have been,
$23,000.
I don't know, maybe we budgeted previously for my health insurance because I don't take it.
I knew you didn't take it, I don't know how long it had been, so.
I haven't ever taken it.
Oh. No,
I've been on Medicare since
it doesn't, we
long
don't,
before I
it
came here.
doesn't matter, we don't need the details of everyone's health insurance. I can just tell that something changed, cause it went from 147 to 124, so that's almost, I mean, it's not a full year of family, but it's like 2/3 a year of family. It's more than a year of single. So there was some kind of change where it went down. I'm not, like I said, I don't know that keeping it up there is bad because we don't know what the new people are going to do. And Kim would probably have to speak more to what's in the 156,
I
but
thought you guys were taking family. So let's just leave it. Do we have any, did we have?
I don't
any-
know, he's 70, so he may be on Medicare already. I'll talk to him. Yeah. And real honestly, that's something we need to encourage more of our health people to do. We talked about that at the MNIS board meeting the other night. There's some real incentives for them to take their Medicare.
Oh,
There are. We've looked at that, however. I think I mentioned this before. If our pool gets very small, then our costs go up for our health insurance, for per family.
But
So-
but
so
generally
anyway.
speaking, the people that are eligible for Medicare are more likely to be people with higher claims too.
Sometimes not.
But anyway, that's not the discussion today, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the bottom line of the budget, I'm like, based off of last year, you would have room for the error of like a person of health insurance, because if a family premium's about $30,000, like, you'd have room for that kind of error as long as that error isn't made, 2 times or 3 times.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, but wait a minute. I'm just looking at the bottom line. There's plenty of room there. If we ended up with both people on family, we got plenty of money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
well, wouldn't that be, so I guess it would depend on what the previous people are budgeted at, and I'm not trying to find out or estimate that, but I'm just saying if you had 2 Rons, we know Ron just said he's not on the health insurance. So if Ron goes from 0 to 30, and if that happens twice, that's an extra $60K that you don't have in here.
Yeah.
But do we have it on the bottom line? No, we don't even have it on the bottom line.
No.
Oops.
We have room for one.
What I have plugged in,
So what do you have for the opens, Kim? Do you just the budget family for all the opens, or what did you do?
Okay, so if Jane takes family and the other guy takes family, it only.
Then it's
carries.
even. Okay,
Then
okay.
it's even.
Okay, so we are just worried about, okay.
And,
I mean, just saying.
understand it's also only a half a year.
Yeah, it's only 6 months.
True,
'cause it's
true.
not till
Yeah.
we're sworn in
and I have
office.
Pam in there as family, so that.
We
they
got it.
have-
Okay, so we should have, so we're good there, okay. So normally, obviously, I'm not that nitpicky on a lot of budgets, because there's a lot of people, but there's only 7 of you.
That's
So,
right.
2 can flip a 7-person budget on its head a lot, very quickly. Okay, Keno done, board done, museum, obviously you were all in the meeting last week when the museum said that they were keeping their ask, I believe their word was stable at 975,000, so, we have that budgeted here. I mean, there's a little, basically you have the revenues, it's primarily property tax, a couple other, small tax items, and
So,
then, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to come back to this budget at some point in a day or two, not today.
Museum.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
thank
Yep.
you.
I'm just gonna write that down really quick.
Yeah, I didn't think we would get through this today as fast as we are, so.
Are you trying to jinx it?
Just let me keep rocking and rolling. I know is there something you guys have to do at 3 o'clock?
We have another meeting, but we're all right.
Okay.
We gotta wait till Chrissy gets done.
Do we need to let Chrissy,
Some of the
Yeah.
bigger ones, are
Christie, Mandy,
now.
somebody.
Right.
Going to wait, now might be a good stopping point.
I think I can get through the next several pretty quickly, but, inheritance, cash position, pretty stable, down a little bit, but very consistent with where it's been the last couple years. You'll see prior year actual was 1.8 million, so we continue to try to be a little conservative, budget 1.5. There's, conservative amount of interest budgeted. One-time revenue is really, we're just using that to basically plug to get up to the 13 million. In case that something does come in, you have the ability to spend it. And then on the other side, this is honestly just a lot of, this is where money could go, the ones that matter. You'll see a $500,000 transfer to general for miscellaneous. That's what we always use to support the levy. Because there is a sheet that gets filled out that says, are you using inheritance funds to support your property tax relief? And we can mark yes, because we transfer $500,000 every year. There's $250,000 transfer to general. That's to support cash reserve increases. We have increased the cash reserve by $500,000 this year. I asked him to do that because our percentage was slowly ticking down. We're still in the, mid to low 20s, but I'd really like us to get back to that 25% or slightly higher. We worked really hard to get there. I don't want it to slip down and then we have to try to find $1 million, in 5 years. So I did ask her to increase that to $500,000 for this year. And then there's the $1.77 million transfer to building and land that we already talked about when Dune was in here. So those are the ones that actually impact other budgets. Everything kind of above the transfers is just budgeted so you could spend. Courthouse bond fund, this is the money that we collect property taxes, and then it's used only to pay the bond or the debt. Maybe the debt is a better word for that. Again, primarily property taxes, some other small taxes that come in here. And then on the next page, you can see Kim has input the amount of principal and interest. And then,
Sorry.
yep, no, go ahead.
Go back to page 52.
Oh, did I miss something?
And then talk about Cafe. Did we talk about that for the Wood River ambulance?
Oh, the ambulance. I mean, page 52, sorry, back to inheritance.
Okay. This one's gonna come up again because they did submit a letter, requesting 60,000 from the Keno grant funds. Last year, however, the board preferred to sort of do their own savings for this project. And you guys approved putting 50,000 in there last year. So I don't know if that's something that you still want to kind of do, or what your thoughts are on that.
Did we use inheritance funds to do that?
Yes, we did. That's right, yeah, so that's on
Yeah.
5-0305.
Yeah.
So if you want to increase that, we can. It wouldn't really change anything besides it would change what you put in the Wood River ambulance line item, and then we would change like the future projects line.
Well, I thought that they requested 30 last year, and I'm not sure how it got to 50, but I didn't fuss about it because I think that it's vital that we hold the dollars here. The
Yeah.
reason is that I'd like to see that if it's for an ambulance, that it's spent on ambulance, not operating costs, because they don't need it for operating costs. That was proven when we asked for the documentation.
Right.
So there's that, and then in the event that they would decide that it was impossible for them to keep this going, the Wood River ambulance situation going, I don't want our money to be in their budget because us getting it back is
Right.
almost zero. So really, the only question is, do we want to add to this, and if so, how much? But I'd leave it right here, and I would leave, and I would.
I mean, to be fair, it's good faith anyway. If they came this year and said, hey, we really need $100,000, you can pay it to them out of inheritance.
Yes, but what do we want to add to this 50,000 this year? Do we want to add the 30 that I thought we were going to do last year? They're asking for 50 this year.
They asked for 60.
I'm sorry, 60. So-
So even asking for 60, it's hard to understand if it's that 60 total or 60 plus the 50, like, we don't know. And like I said, I don't know if it matters.
With
10 would be
ambulance
60.
in general, you're looking at a purchase price somewhere around $600,000 for the ambulance. I'm not thinking that it is the county's sole responsibility to provide that ambulance. I don't.
Thank you.
However, I do believe since we do provide ambulance services for the rest of the county through a contract with Grand Island, running those numbers, with Wood River running the service, it's saving the county about $100,000 a year, just based on call volume and what projected call numbers are, what have you. I think that the ambulance they have now is going to be good for several years. However, I would like to see us get into just a practice of putting $50,000 a year in to the sinking fund that the county has control over until they're ready to purchase their new ambulance, which could be 5 years, 7 years down the road. You know, if that happens to be $300,000 in there to help pay for half an ambulance, I think that'd be just, but that's just my opinion.
I would agree to that if we also agree and some or other have maybe a resolution that says that the maximum we will hold is $300,000. In other words, put in 50 a year for 6 years, but the maximum we will hold here for an ambulance, because after that, if they haven't spent it, we just continue and float at that level. I mean, you know, I agree with the majority of your thought process, put it that way.
That's right.
So I'm not gonna, not gonna nitpick, because I do think we have some responsibility. I don't think it's,
Does anybody want
I don't know, does
to
anybody
make
else
a
have
motion?
I guess I would make a motion that the county sets aside $50,000 from inheritance tax to fund the Wood River Ambulance Fund under the county budget, with the fund capping out at $300,000.
And keep the money, the 50,000 in 5-30305, just, it will stay in that fund and build up to 300,000.
I don't know that we can.
I don't know if you guys can vote on
I don't know that
anything.
we can word it that way. I don't
Can you even vote without a agenda item?
Oh, first of all, we can, you're right, thank you.
And I don't know if you need to. If that's something you guys want to add to your regular meeting, I'd say you can, but we can definitely at least make the change of making the ambulance 100,000 for this year, and we'll offset future projects.
Okay?
Then we gotta get another 60 on the Keno?
No.
Okay,
No, absolutely.
We're not gonna cut them a check.
okay.
Yeah,
Until
we're
they're
just.
ready to buy said ambulance, which is what they came to us for in the first place.
Christy is
I know
out
we
there if
have-
you guys want me to grab her
And we
after
can-
we finish
I can
this.
talk to Marty about this, but we do have other resolutions that cap out College Park. We have one that caps out the safety center. We've got, that we put in so
I
much.
think you can do it. I think
So
you can do it.
we
I
can do
think
that.
just need to
I
have it
just
an
don't
agenda
know the
item.
details. Yeah.
Okay? All right.
Okay.
Should we have?
Do you want me to go
Chris-
get Christy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna stop on page,
Yeah, we'll stop. We'll just stop at inheritance. I didn't get through bond fund, so that's okay.
Okay.
I don't want to put any salt in anybody's wound, because that isn't my intent. I'm just telling you that when I ask about this budget, it has, I don't care about the politics of this, one way or another. I cared about a budget exception. That's all I was trying to prevent. And Kim assures me that it's fine. So I'm good, however we want to do it.
Okay, so we will adjourn the special budget meeting and move into, call the order of the,
Give me a second, I got my computer went down, just give me two
Okay.
seconds, I gotta get it.
well, we can raise hands.
Oh.
There you go.
All in favor of closing the meeting?
Thank you.
7 votes.
Seven
And I will
yes votes, motion carried.
And then I will call to order the final action of the Board of Equalization. And ask Marla to call the roll.
Trying to get my paperwork up. Switch. Karen Brett Yes. Butch Hurst. Pam Lancaster.
Yes.
Eric Kwon.
Yes.
Ron Peterson.
Yes.
Jane Richardson. Yes. Scott Sorensen.
Yes.
Okay. Notice of the open meeting law. This is a public meeting subject to the open meeting laws of the state of Nebraska. The requirements for an open meeting are posted on the door to my left, and notices are on the front table for your information. Public participation, commissioners will not be able to take action on non-agenda items. Let's move on to Christie, discussion and final action on property valuation.
Okay, so protest number 2, lowered to 618,600. Number 3, lowered to 205,220. Number 7, no change. Number 16,
okay, but it says no change, but before that, it went to, number 7 was David Dugan, 402. Oh, it was no change from the time when the referees met?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it changed it on my other sheet, my protest
Yeah,
sheet.
this is since the protest hearing.
Okay,
Yep.
got it.
Okay. Number 16, no change, 361,688. 17, no change, 319,343. 41, what are we doing here? Oh, I got lots of pages. Which one is right? 85,921, is that what's on there? Okay, I had 2 different sheets.
This next one, is that the one guy 11 to 12 Street?
No,
79?
79 is, that was the one on Locust.
Yep, 1107 South
That was
Locust.
that one that it was commercial property and,
Okay.
you know, he's got it back on the street.
Okay, that one is 194,998.
What is?
Okay, which one is it?
Heading number 8.
79?
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
84.
Okay, and then we go to 84. No change.
Okay, now, I thought there were 3 that, and these are Lonnie Davis's, right? And he called in, and I thought we agreed to go back to last year's and add the 8%, or 5%, or whatever that was. They're multifamily? just like we did those others? Yeah. I don't know that I have all that. $687.
86.
I guess I did have a possible note of reduction of 2650,
Well,
But the rents,
but maybe the rest supported it up to.
Yeah, it says income supports value.
Right.
yeah, I think the rents
I could see that
did.
being,
I think the rents, we went off those rents.
Okay.
yeah.
If I remember right. when I was looking.
Number 86.
Now, the one, yeah, yeah.
This one also says income supports value, 206004. 87, income supports value,
That was-
369,398.
That was reduced by the referee to start with, so
What was, 87?
89,
Oh, 80.
no, 87.
87.
Yeah,
86 and 87.
Okay, all right.
and 88 was too.
And this is 89,
Oh, that one's, these two, yeah.
supports value, 167757. 92, rent supports value, 242618. Number 94. 233122.
And that
One-
one was reduced by the referee initially.
Yeah, okay.
141.
Oh, yeah.
Adjusted to 2025 value plus 5% to 119085. 158. Same thing, down to 513,655. 159, same thing, down to 167,562. Number 160, down to 167,098. 161, 123,013. 162, 180,394. 163, 166,782. 164, 190,376. 165, 179,578. 166, 174,970. 167, 170,708. 168, 196,022. 169, 170,835. 170, 170, 198. 171, 168, 912. 172, 173, 686. 173, 186, 371. 174, 185, 084. 175, 202, 090. 176, 187, or sorry, 178, 454. 177, 171, 823. 178, 221, 956. 179, 175, 631. 180, be 197, 334. 204, 190, or sorry, 167, 082.
205, no change, 140, 070. 206, 214, 270, no change. 207, no change, 154, 375. 208, no change, 90, 031. 209, no change, 93, 054. 210, no change, 85, 762. 211, no change, 177, 517. 215, change to 463, 200. 226, change to 320,000. 228, change to 385, 494. 233, change to 21,294. 234, no change, $96,015. 235, no change, 182,846. 243, no change, 407,970.
No, it's in Turk. It's in Turk.
We chose not to do something because it's near. We could, but we chose not to.
265, down to 295,000.
And that's what he asked for, I remember.
301,
294.
what?
294.
Oh, they're out of order, sorry. 294. Down to 113,940. 301, down to 161,457. 302, down to 141,420. 322, no change, 76,935. 323, down to 89,000.
Dog grooming place.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
326, no change, 665,089. 334, down to 414,730. 364, down to 925,000. 372, no change, 397,253.
That was that farm.
373, down to 925,000.
Those are the two.
380, 221, 898. And 386, no change, 1,099,413.
Do we need a motion to accept all those, or is it not?
I think we usually do.
I'd make a motion to accept the changes and or no changes as read.
She's got to get us ready here.
Voting is open. Seven yes votes, motion carried.
Is there any other items to be brought before the Board of Equalization? If not, we are adjourned, and we will meet again on Thursday at 9 o'clock for the special budget meeting.